don't eat hot dogs anymore?
No,
Andy, if I knew that was how you were going to handle it.
I haven't touched one since because of how bad that was. And yeah.
That can't be. Is that true?
Oh, yeah. No, I haven't touched a hot dog since that
When
night.
was that before fucking mustard?
No, that...
Because you got a hot dog that night.
Yeah, well,
I feel like I might have been... I think we might have camped after motherfucking
That was
mustard.
really your last... I ruined hot dogs
I mean,
for you?
I ruined hot dogs for him.
Let's...
We ruined hot dogs for him.
Let's establish. If I'm drunk as piss outside of a strip club at 2:30 in the morning, maybe I'm going to have a hot dog at the hot dog cart. Sure. But if we're going out camping, I'm not bringing hot dogs, and I'm actively going to avoid them as much as possible. If we're camping, and somebody's like, "Can I have you want a hot dog, Andy?" I'm going to say, "No, go get me a smoky or a sausage. Like, don't give me a hot dog," because they make me fart. And ever since then, I feel
like you should just bring your own little tiny tent. One of the ones where your legs stick out through the...
I mean, I don't want to be farting in my sleeping bag either. That's still...
Bring a car air freshener and just fucking hang it up before, like, bedtime, crack this car air freshener open, and away you go.
Shove a dryer sheet in my bum.
Okay.
Maybe not. Maybe not. That'd probably be bad for you.
You know what?
All the things.
I don't miss hot dogs. I think they kind of suck, so I'm not, like, disappointed.
Yeah,
I
but
like
a hot
Smokies.
dog at the ball game that we went to in Austin.
Oh, that's true. I did get
That's
one there.
a little bit of a special.
Yeah,
Special
that was a
occasion.
special thing, though. Yeah. And it sucked.
It did suck.
Yeah.
Mine also sucked.
Really?
We were 10 out of 10 hungover that day.
Oh, yeah,
and it was
bad.
30 degrees.
Yeah. And
the hot dog was bad.
But we needed this food, too. Like, I was like, and I didn't have breakfast or anything, so I was like, I'm fucking gonna just go ham at the Ball Diamond. And, like, I got the hot dog with the fucking bacon wrapped around it, and, like, a fancy pretzel bun.
Yeah,
like, I was like, I'm on vacation. As we said in the Tron, money doesn't matter when you're on vacation. Go listen to that Tron. And it was garbage. Like, I hated it.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
We both struggled through that day, and it was tough to tell what was hungover and what was bad hot dog for me.
I think it was...
Because I just had a regular hot dog. But boy, that was probably the roughest part of that trip was that ball game.
Yeah.
I accidentally had the stream mics muted for the first 10 minutes of the stream. And then the first thing that people heard when I unmuted was as we were watching the VOD, this one be a little fucked up. And that's why I never had a hot dog again. It was just where that story started.
Good. Well, we'll have to go listen to the cast now. So anyways, yeah, that's my experience.
I'm really sorry that collectively hot dogs have been ruined for you.
I don't care.
They're like you say, they're not that great, but sometimes you want that,
Well,
it's like the Big Mac. It's trash food, but sometimes
I'm not a big Mac guy. I like a quarter pounder.
You insert generic fast food, Filet-O-Fish.
I've never had a Filet-O-Fish in my life.
I also maybe not ever had a filet of fish.
Do you like fish?
I don't want to get
love
fish from McDonald's.
I think that's why I don't want to, is because I genuinely I love seafood, and I just can't justify getting a fish sandwich at McDonald's. Like, I don't know, there's something about it where I'm like, that's probably garbage.
I bet it's less processed than the chicken nuggets.
Probably.
That's fine. Chicken, you do whatever you want with chicken. But I'm kind of with Andy on the whole, like, if I'm going to have fish, I want to have some fucking fish.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to eat a filet of fish.
I don't eat fish sticks either.
The reason filet of fish is good
sticks.
is probably from the sauce. That's all it is in that sumbitch.
Tartar?
Yeah.
Loves me some tartar.
Tartar
I also like saying it like that. Yes.
Tartar.
Tartar sauce?
Sounds like a species in Star Wars.
That's true.
The Tartars.
The tartars.
Tartar. That's what they sound like when they talk. They just like a Pokemon. Tartar.
Warren, is this true? Warren says Andy's the only person I've ever met who swears he hates the smell of his own farts. You hate the smell of your own farts?
Oh my god, this is a constant argument.
Is that a real thing? I do not. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't love the smell of mine, but if I'm in a room and I pass gas, I'm never offended like I am when other people do.
Well, I'm more offended when other people do it, but
yeah, that's like me too.
Someone does it, I'm like, that is the worst thing I've ever smelled in my. What is wrong with you? And then if I fart, I'm like, oh boy, that's.
There's something familiar about it.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh, I've smelled 1,000 of my farts.
Doesn't faze me at all.
I was literally driving in the car yesterday and I farted and I was so mad at myself. I was like, fuck! And I opened up the windows and fucking...
We jumped out the car.
Yeah, that's really...
Yeah, just on the fucking QE2, just barrel rolling out.
Gotta go!
Fucking just swearing as I'm going, fuck! Get away from that car!
That's very strange.
Yeah, I hate it. I think it's so weird. It's just...
There's maybe we're unpacking a deeper issue here where... Because they were so bad at your Brando out of the tent and like maybe you just have exceptionally terrible...
The words... I like the smell of my own farts coming out of someone's mouth is so fucked to me. That's
I wouldn't say I like the
dude,
smell. I mean, I've had farts where I've been like, huh, that's not so bad.
Oh, like I want to puke just thinking about it.
Bakery fresh cinnamon buns.
Yeah.
Good for me.
Oh, gross.
But also, I would not say, like, as a general rule, I like the smell of my own farts, but I do not hate them the way that Andy does.
Yeah. No,
so if I smell my own farts, I immediately change whatever I've been eating lately. So usually it's because I've had too much pizza or maybe some fast food or something.
Okay,
and then
I
they
see.
stink.
I
So
see.
like every time I fart, if I can't smell it, then I'm like, all right, fuck, we've been eating good lately. If I fart and I smell it though, then that's my cutoff. Then I'm like, yeah, I got to start eating better. I got to go on a couple days here.
I'm gonna wrap the fart talk here.
Yeah, okay.
No, that's okay. I do have a closing thought. I do have a closing thought.
Sorry about the farts.
No, you're absolutely right. Because when I was eating really well and losing all that weight, I'd stopped farting for a while. There was a point where I asked my doctor, I'm like, is it normal that like I feel like I haven't farted in like a year? And she's like, oh, that's probably whatever.
Thanks, doc.
But yeah, just felt like I stopped farting. Just done.
Then it came back.
Yeah, now I eat garbage and all the pizza and you name it. It's beer.
Yeah. So, Ken, sorry to keep talking about farts, but another
You
thing
don't have to apologize to me.
Talking fart cast.
Another thing that I do that some people find weird,
What's
and I think
the deal?
I think that Warren definitely finds this weird. But if I'm ever going to A, go out with a lady, or B, go out to the bar to potentially meet a lady, or if I have somebody coming over or something like that, I don't eat junk food because I don't want to fart when I'm getting a little close to them. And it's like, even at the end of the night, if I think that I'm gonna be hanging out with a lady for the rest of the night, somebody's like, oh, we gotta get some McDonald's and so we're not as hungover tomorrow. I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, don't give me McDonald's. Like, I don't want McDonald's. Find me a pressed sandwich shop and I'll get myself a nice alfalfa sprout turkey sandwich. I'm gonna crush that tonight.
Non-gluten organic bread.
Yeah. But no, like I can't, like I won't eat fast food if I'm going on a date or something. And that's for like the whole day. If I know I have a date in the evening, I'm not eating fast food or anything
It's a lot
bad
of
during the day.
foresight of you.
Yeah.
Usually, I think most people just like
Realize
have the
that,
fart and
then
be
they're
like,
oh,
what do I do?
should have fucking.
Oh no!
I should have done what Andy does, but I didn't think about this
I'm
until
gonna have to
now.
wait for the waiter to walk by and try to blame this on him.
There's something like somewhat stressful about like having to take a big poo at someone else's house.
Yes, that's it as well
Yeah.
too. So
Here.
you know, I didn't want to start getting into that talk, but the same
And-
thing goes for that because it could equal that.
Nothing funnier than hanging out with some buddies. Buddy, I mean, funniness depending on who owns the house. Buddy goes, to the restroom, comes back, and is like, "Do you guys own a plunger?" And you're like, "You
Yeah.
motherfucker! God damn it!"
I clogged the toilet.
Every time. What is wrong with you?
It's good shit.
It's funny. It's like bad. It's bad shit.
I know
Yeah.
someone who plugs the toilet every time. God damn it.
I mean, if anything, it's admirable. But
Well, yes.
I can't do it.
See your doctor. Video games, gentlemen.
I got one more thought on farts.
To close the discussion on farts real fast.
Why wasn't that Tron?
Sometimes we get here. I don't know what happens.
This will be a little taste. Next week's Tron, we're going to expand on all these thoughts.
Next week, urine.
Let me tell you. Sorry. No,
Stop it.
Stop.
Stop.
The farts of the video game awards. So, well, I mean,
Well.
best PlayStation 5 fart goes.
I don't like it.
All right, you want to talk about the Gamescom Opening Night Live?
Sure. You wanna do that?
Stream / awards. Yeah,
Do that first?
yeah. Let's get through that.
Okay.
Keeley's show. What was that? Oh, phone
Sorry.
call.
There's a
Oh,
bomb.
that's okay.
Their bomb about to explode.
That's what I thought. I'm like, oh, 6 seconds till the bomb goes. Jeff Keighley had his opening night's Gamescom Opening Night live stream today. We just watched it.
And he's taking a phone call.
Yeah, do you just want to close that door, maybe, just so we don't pick up his phone call? I'm just gonna keep talking so we don't he doesn't dox himself live on the internet. Yes, they had a stream. A few announcements. I don't know. Brando, you typed out every single thing to happen.
Yeah, it's I don't know how much of it we want to go off.
Yeah, there's a
but
few things.
There's some big stuff. Call of Duty,
Yeah.
Black Ops, Cold War got announced, and I feel like this was said earlier. Some people didn't know, but it's a direct sequel to Black Ops 1.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I after two things, I'm 99% sure that's what it is.
They said it. They
Yeah.
like directly. They said it, and then Jeff Keighley was even like, "Did you say direct sequel?" And he's like, "Why, yes, I did."
Yeah.
Well, and I think he asked a question too, where he was like, "Oh, so does that mean we're going to see some familiar faces?"
And I think they specifically said one, because I think coming out of that, the last time they talked about this, there was a lot. They said it was a direct sequel to Black Ops, but no one knew if Black Ops meant the Black Ops franchise or if Black Ops was Black Ops 1.
The first game. Yeah.
The first game. So it seems like it's a direct sequel to Black Ops 1, which is great because it means I don't have to play Black Ops 2 again.
Black Ops 2 is pretty good. That was the one with
but
choice, and
I don't
that
have
one
to.
was okay.
You never want to have to play a video game again.
Well, it depends what the
Unless
video game
I'm
is.
maybe-
playing Control again right now, and it's a really good time.
You don't have to play
You
Control
don't
again.
have to play it again. Well, you
does have to?
kind of put
You
us in
know?
a position where you have to play it again.
What does have to play it
Yeah.
again? Yeah, that seems dope. They
Takes
showed.
place in 1981.
They showed like Hudson, all the characters. Tell me about the numbers, man. Mason, Frank Woods.
Who's the guy with all the scars on his face?
I don't think we know him.
Is that a new character? I thought he looked cool. I was like, his voice was cool. His whole look was good. The aesthetic, he looked badass as hell.
Ronald Reagan looked really fucking good.
Yeah, I thought he looked good too.
Ronald Reagan looks really good.
It's weird seeing, like, we've gotten to this point where as we approach more and more closer to photorealism, where every now and then they CGI a guy who you actually know, who you don't just know through the video game, but you know from history, and you're like, oh yeah, they're getting like bang on what they're trying to get.
Well, I think even, with Call of Duty specifically, and I mean, he's a dickhead now, but when Advanced Warfare came out and they had Kevin Spacey in it, I was like, oh, hot damn, that looks exactly like him.
It's a fucking Kevin Spacey looking Kevin Spacey.
And that's how many years ago now?
Yeah.
I probably go look at that now, it probably looked like shit.
2011 for Advanced Warfare, maybe?
And then Giancarlo Esposito in the new Far Cry, where you're like,
oh, yeah?
That's fucking Giancarlo.
He might as well literally just be in that game. It's probably him in that world acting.
People look how they look.
People look how they look, apparently.
Hayden Panettiere looks like Hayden Panettiere in Until Dawn.
We got Unknown Awakening, which was a teaser trailer of some lady who seemed to have some sort of time control powers, maybe.
Yeah.
Someone tried to whack her with a stick, and she like ghosted out of it.
This game could have literally been anything. It was a CG trailer.
Yep.
Could have been quite literally anything.
Nothing to go on there.
Yeah.
New Doom Eternal expansion, which I'm very excited about. I know I did not land with...
What did they say? I peed while this was on.
They said it was a new Doom Eternal campaign expansion called The Ancient Gods Part 1, which means there's going to obviously be another campaign expansion. It looked... Like, I didn't see anything in the trailer that was like, oh, they're adding this crazy thing.
Was like, oh, new enemy, or new gun.
Everything looked pretty on brand, which is probably for that, where that game got good. Yeah. I don't know if the answer to that game is adding more different guns and
probably
stuff.
Not.
I'm very excited for that. I am the one who champions that game on this show. So
I think Doom is fine for the record, just not incredible like the first one.
Bioware. We got some Edmonton content here. We got to see our lovely Walterdale Bridge.
That's right.
And a woman being interviewed underneath it.
Saw Casey Hudson.
Yeah.
Hair looks great.
We were really hoping that this was going to be the Mass Effect remaster.
Yeah. Hoping this was going to be anything other than, like, we're still going to say the word Dragon Age a bunch.
And not have anything... like
literally nothing to show.
EA has done this a lot in the past, and Bioware has been a lot of the times they've done this have been the equivalent to here's someone working on a computer with some model on the computer.
This is Andromeda all over. Like, this is the Andromeda trailer.
It seems like it's 5 years away.
All over again. And they had nothing to show in the way that, like, it felt so weird for them to be talking about Dragon Age 4, whatever they're going to call it, previously, of, like, it very much felt like this grasp for life of like, well, they can't close this if everyone loves Dragon Age, right?
That's right.
And this just felt like it was doubling down on that. Where like they were literally showing like wireframe models shooting wireframe spell animations, like stuff that you don't, unless you have literally nothing to show, don't usually show.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was cool if you were a developer, but otherwise for us sitting here, we're like, show me the fucking good stuff. Like I don't want to see Buddy walking across that platform that they have in gymnastics so you can get the effect of him walking across a tightrope. I don't give a fuck. Show me some rendered shit and show me some gameplay. Otherwise, take a back seat till you're ready to go in 3 years.
Yeah.
I think 3 years is like...
It might be generous.
Very generous.
And also everything that they said about this game was like, a BioWare game. They're like, we want you to have characters that some people are going to like them, some people are going to hate them, some people are going to fuck them.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, so like another one of these games.
Yeah, they said literally nothing about anything in that trailer.
Doc Brown from Back to the Future, in what may have been the letdown of the show,
That's so weird.
Came in to tell us that Surgeon Simulator 2, not a dope Back to the Future game, Surgeon Simulator 2 is out now.
So the proper Back to the Future IP never appeared, I guess.
No, anywhere.
Which makes it legally okay. But like they had the fiery tire tracks, they had the music, they had Doc Brown, and Jeff was even like, that's Doc Brown, not like Christopher Lloyd.
Right.
Can they just do that? Can they just use the... And also, like, Back to the Future was related to literally nothing in this. They're just like, people like Back to the Future.
People do like Back to the Future.
Doc
you should
Brown
make a great game about it.
Being like, please pre-order Surgeon Simulator. Being like, What?
I also hated it too because it was clear that little video of him was a recording, and then Buddy was like trying to jump
There's
in where
too
he
much
needed.
delay.
But no, because he had to like dip in where he had to talk.
Right.
So this was a rehearsed bit with
Yeah.
a recording. I hate that shit. I hate whenever they try to do that and it wasn't awful. It was awful because it didn't make sense. But it just bugs me for some reason.
It was
I'm
awful
like,
because there was no
you
Back
didn't
to the
need
Future.
it. You didn't need to do that
made
shitty
zero
bit.
sense.
Like, yeah, you didn't need to do that. Just show me your fucking thing.
Head Up, the bridge constructor people, are doing a Walking Dead bridge constructor
Yeah,
game.
I think that looks kind of dope.
This was so I don't want to play this game at all.
I do.
But I thought this trailer made me laugh in its pure like, what the fuckness?
Yeah.
And I was telling Brandon when we were driving on the way over here when they teed it up, and they were just like, and now we're going to show you a crossover that you would have never expected. And then whenever I hear that at like a showcase or whatever, I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like whatever. I'm probably going to what? Like I was like, what the fuck is this? Like,
New Walking Dead game in 2020.
Yeah.
Bridge Constructor's pretty dope though. They did a Portal Bridge Constructor, which I really like.
I don't think they're bad games. It's like I don't need to play any more bridge constructor maybe for the duration of my life, regardless of what weird
What if there were
skin.
zombies though that walked across?
well, and see, that's why I want to make fun of it, but I can't, because if I was into a bridge constructor game, absolutely, I think this is super dope. Like, you're changing it up a little bit, you're adding a little flair. This opens the door for maybe doing things like this with other things in the future. I think it's a cool idea.
Sam & Max game with literally no info attached to it.
This was maybe the weirdest announcement. Who cares about Sam & Max in 2020?
And then literally they had them exchange a couple lines of dialogue, and then it was like, stay tuned for more info.
And that was
Like that was the page they put at the end where I'm like, what?
This was that game with like the dog or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
the dog
talking
and,
dog detective and his
Yeah,
friend.
that looked like something like
What
I'd
is
play
Max,
on
a
my
rabbit?
fucking leap pad when I was 7.
yeah,
like,
and-
what's going on
Well,
with
that's
that?
where Sam & Max comes from. Like it's a
Like a
It's
Fisher
a
Price thing.
old adventure franchise.
Yeah, but like you say, it looked like maybe it was a VR thing because it was like the graphics were it looked weird. It looked strange.
Yeah,
in a way
like
that-
it was unsettling and not a.
It looked like an N64 game.
Yeah, like it was weird because it wasn't like it wasn't unsettling like this is a new art style or something I need to get used to. It was just unsettling because it was old, kind of like that Halo demonstration.
There you go.
Yeah.
The perfect comparison to Sam & Max. Quick little award here. Little Nightmares 2 for best Switch game.
These awards are in the grand scheme of video game awards, which are always really dumb and really useless. These awards were extra useless.
Yes.
And like best Switch game, they did best Switch game, best Xbox game, best PS4 game, and it like
And they had like a best action adventure, best action.
It just why best Xbox game is Watch Dogs Legion, and best PS4 game or PS5 game was
I think it was Ratchet and Clank. wasn't it?
yeah, but okay, should say
Right.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Or something.
Which one?
It was
Which
the
one
best
we're talking
PS5 game. It's on
about? No,
here
it's
somewhere.
Cyberpunk.
Sure. Okay. Perfect.
yeah.
Because those are both on either console.
Yeah, that doesn't even-
Why
yeah.
couldn't you literally just flip those? Why couldn't the best PS5 game?
It's probably what they had it
be-
playing on at the show.
I don't think maybe
Because I think these are
there was no
like,
Cyberpunk trailer at the show.
No, I know, but like E3, I think these are like best in show awards. They're not what are the best games. So it's like members of the media who are getting their hands on these things in specific consoles, giving their, like you said, doesn't matter to us at all, but their opinion on the best thing I played on the Xbox was Watch Dogs Legion at the spot.
But
I'm
I
at
don't
right
think
now.
anybody's playing Cyberpunk yet.
I think people are playing Cyberpunk right now. Yes.
Like
and
for
before
review,
this,
you
yes.
think the media's playing Cyberpunk, the game that's been
Well, it doesn't need to be
pushed back
for.
to
It doesn't need to be for review.
Oh, like maybe they
It's-
sent out a demo
It's best for
to-
show. It's like this is what we have. What's leaving an impression on you?
You think so? You give these awards way more credit than I do.
I think they're the same as the E3 ones. I know exactly what the E3 ones are, and those are games that aren't out or aren't done or aren't close to done. I am assuming these are like those. So you're right. I could totally be wrong.
They should call it something different though, because I don't mind that it's like getting a reviewer's perspective, and they're going to say, "Hey, this is the best one we played of this" or whatever. But I don't think you should call it an award. That feels
Yeah,
weird.
or
to get
if that is
award.
what it is, like everybody knows how judges. Well, maybe not everybody. We all know how Judges Week works at E3. It's no big secret. If this is the same thing, then you're like, oh, our critics voted on whatever. Here are the awards.
Or call it a critics award or something like
but
that.
they were just
It's like
like
an
the best Switch game is
Yeah.
blank,
Right,
and you're like,
exactly.
that
That's what
game
they
isn't
should have
out
done,
yet.
is
How do you,
been-
that game might run at 1 frame a second. How do you know it's the best Switch? Like Watch Dogs Legion was the one where I'm like, this game might be trash. This game might
Right.
be awful.
Yeah,
it could be the best Xbox game, but like
You have no idea.
Yeah, you're
And
playing a demo run.
That's
hedging
why
your bets.
that's why I think they are the E3 style awards, where it's like you are just saying what got you super interested with what they gave you to do. So I'm sure whatever they gave them for Watch Dogs Legion was great. And that's why they were like, on the Xbox, this is the thing that people voted on and was the best award. But also, that doesn't mean anything because that game's not done.
Yeah,
like
it's
don't
such a
take
meaningless...
as a consumer, don't take that
and
for granted.
if they would have sent the PS5 SKU, would Watch Dogs have been the best PS5 game and Cyberpunk the best? Like, that's really...
Yeah.
These are dumb awards,
They
even in the scheme of awards.
Where are we?
That said, congratulations to Little Nightmares 2 for best Switch game.
Yeah, we're gonna get to this game. I actually thought this looked really neat.
Little Nightmares?
Yeah. WoW expansion.
Yeah, they showed
Shadowlands coming out.
They showed they're rehashing all the Uther and Arthas and all the villains from Warcraft 3 again. They're kind of doing. It seems like they're beating the nostalgia drum for this next expansion.
Yeah, there's a lot of so it seems to be separate from Shadowlands. They also are releasing like a 4-part film or short series.
They will be in the game eventually. You'll play through the campaign and they play.
And they will be in there.
Those like painted. I don't know what to call them, but those like drawn cutscenes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are out of the game.
One of the guys in this sounded like Master Chief.
Did he?
Yeah, it was the angel thing that was the boss of the angel person who was training you.
Oh, okay.
Whatever they're called, not angels.
I don't even know.
Warhammer's doing a game called Stormground, which is a very Warhammer title.
This is a new Warhammer universe. Apparently, this is the Age of Sigmund or Sigmar, the Age of Sigmar, which I guess is about Warhammer 2K. 40K is 40,000 years in the future. Mm-hmm. This is like
2,000 years.
Yeah, apparently that's what I got in one sentence from the chat. This is because they said it's a new universe. It's the first time we've ever had a game in this new universe, and they showed Warhammer. I'm like, wait. But it's not 40K.
That's
it's
right.
Age of Sigmar.
I've never played a Warhammer game. I likely never will.
Total War. Warhammer is very, very good.
Crash 4 is going to feature... The only thing they talked about, they picked one weird fucking part of this game to just randomly talk about, which is these puzzle rooms they're going to put in that are going to fill in some of the backstory from before Crash 1.
The rich Crash backstory.
That's weird. Yeah. I'm excited for Crash. Like, don't get me wrong. I'll play Crash 4. I like Crash games. This was a weird thing for them to be like, we want to specifically focus on the narrative before Crash 1.
Yeah, well, because this is before Cortex controlled Crash, because Cortex actually made Crash.
And they were supposed to be friends.
As he started breaking that down, the developer in the video, my eyes just glazed over. I was like, what? There's a story? What?
And then they'd show like gameplay where you'd like jump on like a box and some other boxes would disappear and you'd fall
dodge
through.
the nitro.
And I'd be like, oh, I like that part.
The rich story.
Talk about that part. Outriders.
Yeah, this
was like a commercial. This was like Jeff Keighley said, "We'll be back with more," and then they played a bunch of video game commercials for Outriders.
We've seen that a bunch.
Yeah.
That is one of the third person. It might be for that's one of the 3-player in a squad action loot shooter games.
Okay. Hyperscape, which is out now. Everyone's playing that. A soccer game, which I missed because I was peeing.
The soccer game. Captain. Something.
I couldn't say it. I know which one you're talking about.
How do you spell it?
It's like TSU.
TSU
Maybe I'm thinking of
or
Soshima.
something. Saba. I don't remember. That looked anime soccer. I want to know more about anime soccer.
Sure.
I thought the exact same thing. Like as it started, I was like, "What is this bullshit?" And then it got into it. I was like, "This kind of looks fun."
What if it's soccer and every time you kick the ball, it's like a fucking Kamehameha is going off, and like a dude rode the soccer ball as he kicked the soccer ball and then grabbed onto the soccer ball. It looked like and rode the soccer ball for a bit.
Well, and the first thing it reminded me of when I was watching it, I was like, "This is like Mario Strikers." So I was like, "That's fucking what I want in my soccer game. Is just fucking chaos."
You know what I want in my soccer game?
Anime
fucking
ladies.
Cars.
FIFA. Cars. Rocket League.
This reminded me a little bit of Rocket League for the little bit I saw. Probably because it's soccer. Tuxedo Labs is doing Teardown. This actually looked kind of interesting. It's like a Minecrafty looking build and destroy kind of world, and you are like pre-planning heists by like being like, oh, I gotta fucking break a hole in the wall here and then put a beam across here so I can get out of here. And
fully destructible world, they said, and it's like, what if you were playing Minecraft but the voxels were really small, like not pixel size but a little bit.
Yeah,
close to that.
Smaller than the boxes that they are in.
Yeah, and so everything is just like they had like physics, water physics, and fire physics, and so it looked really cool.
The one thing that besides this, I wasn't really interested in it, but I thought that it looked incredibly satisfying to break anything in that. It reminded me a lot of, that sand, that magic sand that they advertise at like 3 a.m. on some television programs, where you like mold it into
after
anything.
the Skinamax stuff.
Sure.
I know what you're talking about.
Well, you can like mold it into anything, and it wasn't like slime or anything. It was just sand that you could like. It didn't need to be wet. You could just squish it and mold it into stuff.
Yeah, I kind of know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and that's kind of what this reminded me of. It looked like as if I like made a world out of that stuff, and then I could just run into stuff and it would just blow up. And so that looks satisfying. The destruction part of that game looks cool.
It reminded me a lot of those early Battlefield Bad Company games where their pitch was the whole world is destructible, and that first game like everything was way too destructible. So like you slowly back a tank up and it accidentally goes through a house because it's made of cardboard and the whole house goes and falls in on you. And
it looked neat. Honestly.
It looked very cool.
Yeah.
Something unique.
And made by one guy, I think they said one dude who developed his own engine.
Swedish man.
A Swedish man.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, made his own engine.
Little Nightmares 2, like we talked about. I think this looks really neat. Reminds me of Limbo and that other one.
Did you play the first Little Nightmares?
Inside? No, I didn't. I don't even remember it ever crossing my radar.
I remember seeing it in E3, but that's about it.
I'm not really like a horror game guy, and I don't really want to play scary games. But there's something.
I don't know if I'd call this a horror.
Well,
game.
No, but still, anything that like
scary.
Anything that teeters on the edge of it, I'm just not into. Like for you play all games, so like
they're like little cutesy. It's like is Nightmare at what's the Tim Burton Nightmare Before Christmas? Is that like scary to you?
I don't know. I've never seen it because it's a horror movie.
There's fucking like bear traps like in
I was
Limbo.
gonna say this is like a horror movie like Nightmare Before Christmas is a horror movie.
Yeah, but look, I'm not looking to get made fun of here. I'm just trying to make a point that I want to make. But all right.
Well, you came to the wrong podcast, Andrew.
But
no one told you this was a safe space.
It's a very intriguing looking game. Like I want to explore that world and I want to know what the fuck is going on there. Because it's like
there was like the part where all the big guys were like looking down and you had to like walk like into their feet where they're all staring, and I'm like, that looks fucking scary. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, like, and then just even too like the way that those characters move and stuff, like they look very vulnerable, and it's just it's weird. It reminds me of some of the characters in that game that are like in the background and stuff, and some of the monsters remind me of like Studio Ghibli characters from those movies. So Spirited Away and stuff like that. She's not really, she is kind of evil, but the witch in that with the big nose and stuff, that's what the characters in that game remind me of.
Can I tell you a secret? I've never seen any Miyazaki film in my life.
I had not until they threw a piston on Netflix.
Okay, that's where you start watching, because I see them all on Netflix. I'm like, oh, I should. Yeah. Man, they keep telling me I should watch Howl's Moving Castle, and it looks pretty dope.
That's what I'm gonna watch.
Very good movies.
Yeah. They're all supposed to be incredible.
They're weird. That's the only thing. You have to get.
Hey, I'm down, buddy. I'd do an anime podcast now. Apparently,
yeah, so you're cool. But even for like, I've watched.
Andy, I'm not here to be made fun of. Okay.
But like, just when you go into those films, expect the story structure to not flow the same way as say a Disney movie would. So when I went into it, I was kind of thinking Disney, but then it didn't really flow like that. So after I watched one, then I kind of got it, and then I started enjoying them more. So
I'm expecting, like all anime I watch, expecting hardcore nudity.
Jump right into Spirited Away. You should watch that one. That's the first ever Japanese film to get an Oscar.
Isn't that also like the highest grossing Japanese film of all time?
Yep.
Yeah, maybe I should watch.
Yeah, jump into Spirited
Princess
Away.
Mononoke
film or Japanese film in total?
Japanese film in total. Well, according to the Netflix thing, it says highest grossing Japanese film of all time.
Yeah, and first one to get an Oscar.
Damn, the first Japanese film to get an Oscar in 2001. When did the we got a whole podcast? Yeah, I was gonna say, but there's a whole separate podcast about this.
Yeah, it's good though.
Jerry the King Lawler shows up here.
Is
how active is he still with WWE?
I don't know. I don't watch it.
When I was still watching, he was on from time to time, like a couple years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he like has he done anything terrible? Is he?
He's like a lot of older guys in wrestling. He's got some skeletons in his closet for sure,
but no specific skeletons of like, oh, we hate Jerry Lawler now.
If you're asking if I know if he's canceled,
he's no JBL. Yes, is he canceled?
Yeah. There's something.
I think he is.
That makes you think he is, but
so
I can't remember what.
Because when he showed up, I just started booing the shit out of him, and Warren's like, "You can't boo the king." Like, oh, I thought we. Whoops.
Yeah, I'd hate to be wrong, but yeah, no, I have that same reaction, and I had it like even when he was still in wrestling, where I'm like, there's he's done something. That,
I think so too.
Yeah, he was also, and this
they had more of that. They really reined him back.
You can't really cancel a guy based on this because it was the whole product, but he was like the tip of the spear on objectifying women during the heyday of the WWE objectifying women.
HLA.
Yes. Anyway, WWE is releasing 2K Battleground.
It looks so fucking bad, dude.
It looks awful, which is a shame because it's like it's arcadey in a way that I'm like, this is where they should go.
Yeah,
but they should look good while doing it.
Sure,
I'm fine with them doing like power bombs where they jump up in the air and light on fire.
That seems great.
Yeah,
Undertaker's fist should always be on fire, even in the show. That's cool.
Right, but I don't want it to look like trash. I don't want the models to look like trash.
No, especially like maybe it says something about me. I think the women in particular look particularly upsetting. Like their proportions are so fucking weird in the battle. Like they're weirdly cutesy, but also like thick and like sexually proportioned in weird ways.
Don't feel ashamed by the erection you got, Eads. That's
I'm
okay.
confused. I'm not ashamed. I'm confused by it.
I'm going to completely go in the opposite direction, you guys, on this. I didn't think it looked that bad. I watched that gameplay and I was like, you know what? The one thing that we will all agree on is that is absolutely the direction they need to take with it.
Yes.
If I'm ever going to buy one of those games, they have to do like some sort of an arcadey style.
Yes.
In terms of the models, wasn't terrible. I was like, oh, okay, that's okay. I think they could be better, but I also think that those models look better than the actual real life model version of those games.
I almost want to buy this game and vote with my dollar just so I can be to them like, yes, this is right, but then take the budget that you have for those other games that suck and put it into this.
Is this even who owns it now? Is this even it'd be 2K because they own the license, but is this Creative Assembly?
I don't think it's Creative Assembly. I think Creative Assembly does the like simulation style ones, so I don't think they did
2K
this.
series.
Yeah. We got some more awards. I don't know if you ever want to touch them. Watchdog Legions for Best Action Adventure. Star Wars Squadron for Best Action. Operation Tango for Best Multiplayer. Best Indie was Curious Exploration 2.
There's some words that will mean nothing to anyone.
Yep. And that was it. Now we can get into Star Wars Squadrons.
Yeah.
Avengers. And almost no one thinks Avengers.
Yeah, I'm getting Avengers too. God damn it, dude.
This wasn't even the best Star Wars game. We'll get to that. Neither was this. Sims Pack, Star Wars Journey to Batuu.
Sure.
For those that don't know, Batuu is the world they built at the Disney parks.
Yes.
The kind of
Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, Galaxy's. The park is called Galaxy's Edge, and you are in Batuu while you're there.
Go. I mean, not now,
Yeah,
but in a pandemic-free world,
it's-
I really want to go.
It looks unbelievable. It looks like I'd fucking be
I want stormtroopers to chirp me and like demand to see my identification and stuff. Yeah. Oh, I want it all.
It looks dope. Anyway, they kind of built a Sims pack out of that. If you're into that, maybe that's as close as we'll get.
If I were into the Sims, this looks dope. It's like lightsabers and all the Star Wars shit in the Sims seems real fucking rad.
Yeah, somewhere there is probably a big crossover.
Kevin
people who like the
is
Sims
losing his fucking mind right
and
now.
who like Star Wars. Yeah, this is for Kevin. Let's talk about Annapurna's game that has been around since the dawn of time.
Not the cat game that we saw at the PlayStation thing.
12 minutes. A little peek behind the curtain. Everyone knows we like Giant Bomb.
Yeah.
First time I ever saw this game was on a Giant Bomb thing they did where they had the developers and creators of this game in to play it.
I feel like that was in like 2011 or something.
So it's not quite, but it was 2015.
Fuck.
So this game has been in development for over 5 years and does not look big in scope.
Yeah.
But me and Andy were talking about this on the way over here. If you're making a game, the scope of which looks like this, because it's taken you 5 years.
It is top down, and it seems like it only takes place in one room. It seems like you're looking
or one house. Like it seems like there's a kitchen and a living room and a bedroom where they sleep.
But it seems like each scene or like time. Is there multiple rooms in like one? Do you ever see people like go room to room?
You're right. It could be one room at a time.
And then it's a however long, probably a 12-minute
12-minute loop. Yeah. And to spend 5 years on this, the only thing I can imagine is that there is a very cool level of depth to this. There has to be, because I don't know how it doesn't look. It looks better, but it doesn't look that much different from what I saw 5 years ago. And the fact that they're still working on it. One of the cool things is they've added voice acting, and they have James McAvoy, Daisy Ridley, and our boy Willem Dafoe.
Yes, narrating the trailer. Holy shit, is he ever good?
And he's a big Willem guy.
Me too.
Who the fuck isn't?
Okay, that's good. I thought he was
a good
gonna
point.
take a hard turn and say no.
More stuff from Godfall, which, as I have put here, is the most dunked on AAA title of the year.
That is another one of the many 3-person to a squad loot shooter games.
This is a slasher one.
Oh, is this one a slasher? Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
Godfall's
Okay.
a slasher.
All right.
So what they showed here was literally about 15 seconds long, and it was one character doing one ability, and then it just cut back to Jeff Keighley in a super jarring way.
Wow, that looks great, right, guys?
It's like, am I relieved that
Jeff.
it wasn't longer, or am I mad that it was so stupid to put in there in the first place? More Warframe. I don't think there's any big Warframe people here, but if you like Warframe, there's more Warframe coming. Override 2 Mech League, which caught my eye. There's another word in there. It's Override 2 something Mech League or Mech something League.
I don't think it was 2. It was like it
I thought it was Override 2, but I'm not sure.
It wasn't remember like super acrobatic something powered rocket cars. It was that type of naming. It was a supercalifragilistic name.
I got lost on the title for sure, so if it's not 2, I believe you.
I'll look it up.
We got Mafia 1 Complete Remaster.
Yeah, wow.
Which is a weird thing for them to decide to make, but boy, did it look real nice.
Did they... I don't think this is the first time we've heard about this. This wasn't really... I think I knew about this coming into this.
I did not.
But did they... Has anyone played Mafia 1?
No.
Oh,
I didn't even play Mafia 2. I only
Neither
played
have I.
Mafia 3.
I haven't played any Mafias. I was wondering if they re-recorded, like how... Because visually, top to bottom, it is completely redone.
Yeah.
In a way, like it looks like a modern video game.
And it kind of looks like it's like voice, like motion captured.
Yeah,
So,
and like I totally wonder if they went all the way back and did they reshoot the whole? Like, is this like a Resident Evil 2 top to bottom?
that was the impression I got.
It
But
seemed dope.
again, I haven't played enough Mafia 1 or any Mafia 1, so who's to say? That time loop shooter that's been kicking around got a preview, Lemnis Gate.
I think seems weird and neat.
Yeah, that's what I thought too when I saw it.
I feel like it's the kind of thing that I'm going to 100% get and play for about 15 minutes before I'm like, this is too hard for me. I don't understand this.
It is Override 2 Super Mech League.
Which word was I missing?
Not
Super
Super.
Mech.
No, I had mech. Andy. It's about mechs. It's the only thing I knew.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you got it right there. Yeah, Mech League. I guess
No, there was an Override 1.
Well, we didn't know there was a super battle car thing either. So
I knew there was
I didn't.
Yeah, I played Super Califragics Battle Cars, whatever that game was called.
All right, let's go to one of my top 3 of the show.
Yep.
We're giving
Supersonic acrobatic rocket powered battle cars. Got
That's the
there.
one.
Got there.
Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga. Coming out in spring 21. I think this looks fucking dope.
Yeah, same here. I know you don't care, Eads, but you can suck it.
I
Because you're
neither
going to have to get it and you're going to have to play with
I
us.
neither care for Lego games, nor do I care for the Skywalker saga. So
This is all
The Skywalker Saga has a lot of great
What is the
movies.
Skywalker
that last
Saga?
movie
It's
wasn't the
every
best.
movie.
is 7, 8, 9, right?
No,
it's
it's
all
1
of
through
them.
9.
Okay, I like 6/9. No, 7, 8. I like 8/9. I like
Yeah.
6/8. 3/4.
Well, because Rogue One's not going to be in there, right? I can't
no,
imagine.
that guy.
I don't think
That's about the Death
Skywalker
Star,
Saga.
Yeah, it's
though.
just a trilogy. So
Yeah, I think it's the 3 trilogies.
Yeah. So I'm still episode 9 has
So 6
really
nights? No,
episode 9 has
7
really
yeah, it really burned you. But
And I've never played a Lego game. I've
You never
tried.
played those original Lego Star Wars games?
I mean, I tried playing them like by myself as a kid, and was like,
I
this is
platinumed
easy.
the one that came out where it was the old trilogy and the new trilogy, back shortly after the new trilogy finished coming out. I fucking platinumed that game. I put so many hours into that game. I fucking love that game.
I was busy playing real video games, all right? I'm playing video games for babies, Andy. I was playing Demon Souls.
How can you still suck?
Well, I mean, it's touche. what do I even say?
That's the question we're all asking ourselves
All right,
as we play video games.
yeah.
Moving on.
I'm excited for that one. Struggling is a
The
game.
name of the game was Struggling.
I think.
Okay.
That looks like Heave Ho.
Yeah. Kind of reminded me of Carrion
It was
in a way.
it was like a cross between Carrion and Heave Ho.
Yeah, everything about this was unsettling.
It's a gross,
Yeah.
fleshy, move around the area physics platformer thing.
But it seemed a lot more like you were doing the Heave Ho, like grab platforms and fling yourself.
Yeah, it seemed like he literally had maybe 2 hands, even
Yeah.
just like Hevo.
Yeah. I enjoyed the sounds, like when you're like flinging him around and he's like, no!
Just like
You
Hevo.
would.
Trying
You
to get
would.
something. It was just funny. It made me laugh.
Stop it. Age of Empire 3 remake,
Yeah.
October 15th.
There's an Age of Empires 4 out, and they did the 2 remakes semi-recently, and now the 3 remake is coming out. So surely 4 must be soon.
Tell Me Why, which is, I think, maybe out today.
Yeah, it's on Game Pass, the new
yeah.
Don't Nod game.
I'll definitely be checking that one out. Do not care about the award, like we said.
Chorves.
This is also the best Xbox single-player game. I do not believe they gave an Xbox multiplayer game.
No. But
which
best
is
Xbox single-player game is apparently Tell Me Why.
which maybe says something for their lineup.
Chorves. Apparently, that is an on-the-rails ship shooter game, which the first time we saw Chorus, with the U is like a weird stylized V thing.
Like churches.
Yeah, like the group, right?
Yeah, like Chiverches, that's right.
Yeah.
I did not realize this was an on-the-rails third-person shooter. This is like a... I mean, you're in a ship, but this is...
It's like Panzer Dragoon.
It might as well be Panzer Dragoon.
You were talking about this on your stream.
Yeah.
This is shortly after I jumped back in, where you said it sounded like a launch lineup ass video game. And I think it's a little bit later, but you're dead on. Like, it is just one of those, like, man, I'm going to end up buying this thing because it's the only thing to play.
Think of the last third-person on-the-rails shooter game, it was probably Panzer Dragoon Orta, which was a PS3 launch title.
Right. I think there was a Panzer Dragoon game that came out on the Xbox. Maybe it wasn't Panzer Dragoon. There was a game where you fly a dragon. It might have been Panzer Dragoon. Through like fucking rings and stuff. It was this exact game.
That sounds like
that was
Panzer
one of the
Dragoon.
first games I owned on Xbox One. I got
I
it
wonder what
and
game.
Rise. So,
I can't put my thumb on it for whatever reason.
but when you said that was the only reason I know that was because when you said that, it like popped into my head. Like, yeah, I think the first game I ever played on my Xbox One, maybe after Rise, was a fucking on the rails dragon flying game.
They don't make games like this for a reason.
Yeah. Fall Guys Season 2, Andy. We're gonna talk about
Woo!
the fucking Jeff Keighley was just telling us this was coming every 5 minutes of this show.
Yeah.
This was like
And
the
then-
big
This is what they were
announcement
having-
even before, like weeks before. Fall Guys Season 2.
Yeah, and then like when it cuts to it right before they're talking about it, that whole fucking room is just plastered in
Yeah.
like Fall Guys graphics. Like the floor had it.
Yeah, and
like,
it's
they
so
were
big.
building
There's
up.
pink and yellow,
Oh,
and you're
yeah.
like,
It was like
Jeff
a-
is getting sucked into some rainbow abyss. Most important thing seems to be some new rounds, some new different games.
Yep. Saw different games and also saw same games with new maps, like the
new
hoop
skins, yeah.
jumping through one on a new map.
And it
Yeah.
seemed like they were kind of adding skins to everything, including the beans and the levels, to kind of give it a medieval feel, which seems like the.
Were the medieval levels not brand new? I totally thought maybe they're
No, the medieval levels are brand new.
they're not
Yep.
skins for existing levels.
I,
just
I
brand new
think-
levels.
I thought they were both. I
there
thought
could be.
I saw definitely different games, but then I also saw things that looked like, oh, that's just the tail capture level,
Yeah.
but they put drawbridges down instead of the regular fucking blocks and
but
stuff.
it is like meaningfully gameplay.
Yeah.
different.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I think that like they'll take, like you said, they had the ring level. They'll take that concept, but it's a whole different level. So you're
That's
still jumping through rings.
The ring one they showed looked like a brand new level.
Yeah, that's a
It had,
whole
like
brand new
four
levels.
bridges going into the middle or something.
So
Yeah.
the tail tag one was the same thing, where it was a different level. You're just playing tail tag.
They had
on a
another
different level.
egg. They had a new egg one that had like a high up bowl of eggs. It looked like.
Yeah. So there was a couple new like course running through levels,
dope.
and I really like the one where they showed one where it looks like you have to like get over progressively increasing walls, and you have to actually like push the boxes up
Yeah.
to the wall.
Fuck yeah.
Like everybody else. That looks fantastic.
And also they look like it takes like multiple people to push them fast. So like you and others are gonna have to work together to push these blocks. But also, how are you gonna fuck these guys over?
Yeah.
Because only I'm
Are you
getting
going to
through.
maybe just wait by the wall until
Yeah.
they push one?
Yeah.
Who knows?
And I like that because I really like the seesaw one or whatever in that they have now, where it's like if everybody piles on one end of the
Yeah.
fucking thing, you're all fucked. So
It's a bad level.
It looked cool.
Yes.
The stuff they showed. I went into this being like, oh, they're going to show more cosmetics, and that's probably maybe one new mode. But the stuff they look like they have a lot of new gameplay stuff, which is dope.
I also like the idea that if they keep moving forward with the concept of like making kind of a theme for each event, I like that too because it's
They
so
got
it's easy to
wizards
do.
and knights for
The
new
wizard
costumes
can
and stuff, yeah.
return.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like, do season 2 is medieval, season 3 is space, do season 4. Like, that is a
Season
good way.
4 is the one where you turn the game off and then no one can play, and then it comes back for season 5.
Oh,
Oh, fucking
Can't
Fortnite
wait.
that
And then
shit.
you sue Apple.
Then we get who's it? Trey Songs, who's gonna do a live concert? in
Oh,
Fall
I
Guys.
can never remember.
We got
fuck, that would be great. If he's just in the background while you're running, just
at the end of the
jamming
level,
out.
rocking out.
And when
try-
you die, you go into a mosh pit with like ramps and stuff, so you can jump around with the other means.
But at the same time, you're trying to get to like the front of the stage. Like, that's when you win. Is you
that'd
get
be
like
dope.
right up to the guardrail where he's playing at the stage.
Yeah.
That'd be good. Call us. Wasteland 3 came out.
How is this game not? Is it out now?
No, sorry, it didn't come out. It I've heard it must be close because people are reviewing it. I've heard about it on the internets, and people are saying it's very good.
Oh.
So
I've been hearing about this game forever and have sworn it's been out and on Game Pass forever, but coming soon apparently.
Medal of Honor VR game. They spent about
the Respawn
an hour
one.
and 6 minutes on this.
Long time. It looks good if you own an Oculus and want to have a Facebook account.
Yes. Spellbreak. I lost some of these. Spellbreak. You seem to be a. This was the one that we weren't sure if it was a battle royale or what the fuck it was.
Oh, that's where they're
but
flying around and shit,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I thought that one kind of looked cool. I would just like to know what the fuck
maybe,
it is.
but yeah, I don't know what it is.
It looked like a X on X hero class shooter to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it looked neat. I like things with spells, so
Sure,
you got a game
yeah.
with spells and shit. I'm
Try
trying to
it out.
Yeah.
I suppose you may combine them in like a Magica-esque, lightning plus water equals crazy special beam cannon or something.
Kamehameha.
I'd be
Yeah.
freaking sick as hell.
Turrican. Don't even remember what that was.
That was an old arcade game.
Oh, right, the German one.
Being the most famous German game of all time, apparently. Is it a remaster? It's like a remaster
I don't know if
package?
they ever actually said
I
what
had
it
no
was.
idea what was happening this whole time. So, yep, Turrican is doing something.
Then we got Destiny Beyond Light footage, kind of a ability showcase for the folks.
I think they look pretty cool. I think those
yeah.
ice abilities all look bombastic and fun to use in
Yes.
a way that some of the other... I didn't just see a fucking dome go down. I was like, hey, I play the Titan, which is the dome class, which is a cool ability, but it's not that...
Very useful.
It's useful, but it's useful, but not cool. It's
Right.
useful, but like less fun to be like, whoa, I'm flying in with the dome, you know. But
I got you, boys!
Yeah, exactly. Whereas all these abilities they showed, look, it's just people raining from the heavens and huge shockwaves coming out of them as they hit the ground. And
I told Brand on the way over here that after watching that, I'm ready to play Destiny again.
hell yeah, when it comes, it's going to come to Game
everyone is.
Pass, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to Game Pass, we can all play for the price of our Game Pass.
The only thing I can't remember is if this comes to Game Pass.
Yeah, this might not come to Game Pass.
I feel like
does, but I think
everything-
it's later. I thought it
feel
was
like-
like New Year. It did.
Oh, I mean, I'll wait
maybe
then,
it
yeah.
is New Year.
Well,
but I know in
It's definitely Beyond Light is definitely coming to Game Pass.
okay.
I feel very. You're
confident
making me
on
doubt
that?
myself.
We
but I'm-
just had this
I
conversation,
was
I know.
100% certain coming in, and now I'm
Yeah.
like 99.
Oh.
But I think it might just be later. I think it might be. I think it might be coming out in September, and maybe it comes to Game Pass in like December or like that type of.
I think it's November this comes out. I think it's like
Be it.
November 10th or something.
And I know,
Or yeah, it was
and
going
I-
to be September. It got pushed back.
yeah.
And I know at some point they release everything up till then on Game Pass.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll look in. I'll play one way or the other. I would like to play this new Destiny expansion.
Yeah,
also.
I mean, I'm probably, even if we have to buy it, I'll probably buy it.
It's probably time to get back into Destiny for a while.
Right.
Also,
I'll be there.
the EXO, the No Time to Explain lady is there. And then fuck
She's
that, Just kill her.
Like we said, Cyberpunk won the PS5 award.
They didn't show it; it just won the award
Yeah.
for best PS5 game.
And then we got Ratchet and Clank, which
Hell yeah.
I think was the game of the show.
Yeah.
If I'm giving fake awards.
Yeah.
For me, it was 12 minutes.
Yeah,
Being
I mean,
like,
12 like-
Damn, Willem.
Yeah, 12 minutes is 12 minutes. The thing with 12 minutes is like they got 3 real good people to voice that game.
Doesn't look fun to play because they haven't shown us how it plays.
Right. We know nothing about it.
It looks fun,
But
enjoyable to experience.
Voice was cool.
on the other end of the spectrum, Ratchet and Clank, I think you watch this and know exactly 100% what this game is
Yeah.
for the entire duration of this game, and I think it looks dope.
Yeah,
So do I.
It looks like a lot of fun. And I decided after seeing that, and I was pretty much heading that way no matter what anyways, but after seeing that Ratchet and Clank stuff, I was like, fucking PlayStation. That's what I'm getting. I
This
gotta do
game
it.
sold Andy a console.
Yeah, like it looks cool. That looks like the type of game that is right up my alley of what I want to play.
What's up?
Breaking news, gentlemen.
Okay.
And this is a quote. Warren Barris just sent me a quote. Not attributed. Quote. And when the standard edition of Destiny 2 Beyond Light is released, you'll get that too. On Game Pass.
When the standard edition of Destiny Beyond Light.
Yes. So pre-release will probably have early access for a week, and then it sounds like day and date it is coming to Game Pass.
Good.
No,
Which is
okay.
dope.
Fucking A.
Perfect.
Yes.
Awesome.
Fucking A.
Fuck, we're gonna fucking light it up with Destiny.
What was the? I'm sorry. I was getting that news story. Which console did you get sold? By which game?
This was kind of the straw that
broke the camel's
the
back.
ball.
in a
Ratchet and
in a
Clank
positive-
pushed
in
you
a
on
positive
the-
way.
I
see,
Yeah.
I see.
This game looks like something that'll be right up my alley. I want to play it. It looks
Yeah.
fun as hell. And just like that whole, the whole fighting of switching those guns on the wheel nice and quick, and then the way he dodges and stuff, I'm like, this fucking looks like just a hell of a good time. Just so you got shit tons of enemies, like little dogs running at you, and you're just punching the piss out of them. It looks great.
Yeah, the little warp points reminded me of Bioshock Infinite, where you're like opening the portals to like change the fight environment.
It's so confusing because he pulls the portal to him.
Yeah,
whereas
and he's there, and the enemies are behind him.
If the perspective was the camera didn't move and he went into the portal, it would make total sense. But when the whole world moves, you're like, what's happening?
But it's also like it looks way more impressive.
Oh yeah,
like it feels like I've seen me go into a portal a million times playing video games, but me stretching the portal around me on the fly is fucking wild.
Yeah, it looks neat. Like when they first pulled that bridge at him, I was like, oh, and then I was really into it after that. I was like, that's a cool idea.
Did you ever play Sunset Overdrive, Andy?
Yes, yeah, and this is what that reminded me of.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
fucking love Sunset Overdrive. So
for I've never played a Ratchet and Clank, but I really enjoyed Sunset Overdrive, and you could see a lot of Sunset Overdrive DNA.
If you played Sunset Overdrive and had played Ratchet and Clank, your first thought would be like, this plays a lot like Ratchet and Clank. Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's dope.
Yeah.
No, I'm excited for that.
Me too.
Yeah, it's really neat. I'm excited for that game. Like that seems like and they haven't said when this comes out. That seems like a game.
Keely tried to. They're just like launch window, and Jeff was like, how big of a window?
And he was already. That was right after he was grilling them about what the name of that girl Ratchet was. And
there was even tell you. There was even a minute where like one director had to, like in a way that felt unscripted, had to the other dude be like, Mike, like you should field this one.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the launch window.
Yeah, because like we don't know when the PS5 is coming out.
Like that is something that one guy knows if we're allowed to talk about, and one guy
Mike knows. Mike knows when the day is, but he couldn't tell us.
If you can get that out close to a PlayStation launch date, then you are, for a video game player like us, who is kind of like the sales point for Xbox is you'll have the most games.
Game Pass.
Far and away. You'll have so many more games than you'll have on the PS5. But the way we play video games, we generally stay on top of it. And we kind of want what's new, not what's in the back catalog. And for people who are playing video games like that, it puts you miles ahead of the Xbox.
Totally.
If you can be like, even if it's just Ratchet and Clank and Spider-Man, if you're like, these two games are going to be out in a month after the PS5.
As opposed to the 0 on the Xbox.
Yeah. Or like some weird little thing that I don't even know, but it's like, they're way ahead in that. Yes.
Yeah, it looks dope.
Yeah. It was... I'm starting to. Oh, and they show the controller a bunch. The triggers on the controller. I've been seeing commercials for them. They're really driving home that.
The thing that they like, the way they describe it sounds fucking dope.
Yeah.
But it's the kind of thing that you just, I don't know if my brain is gonna appreciate it when I'm playing video games.
It plays exactly like no other controller operate. GameCube controllers would do that. That's the first thing it made me think of.
Like it's different.
It has that half click, right?
Well, no.
But
So
this is like resistance.
Yeah. This is
The trigger's
like.
gonna resist you a little bit.
So I don't click halfway and then click to the second half.
No.
I have to pull it.
You're gonna like pull it and be like, okay, now it's at like full tension, and then you can pull a little bit more, and it'll like shoot an arrow or something.
Or like a good example is you're driving a car and you hit ice, and then the pedal just the pedal goes to the floor. Your trigger just goes. Your trigger just has no resistance, so the pedal goes to the floor.
Right. So it'll be a little bit more
like,
when you're the only way you can think about that is the fact that in a regular driving game, you usually just pull it and it goes. This one you're gonna pull it and like pull it further and further the faster you want to go, and then you hit ice and all of a sudden it's just like nothing's
no tension to it. Or like a bow.
Yeah.
You're pulling a bowstring back, and it's supposed to be like really hard to pull because your character is like really trying to pull the bowstring, and the trigger will be really hard to get in, and then once you get it, the resistance will change. Like they can dynamically change the resistance based on what's happening.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's really.
And they have haptics in like the palms and stuff. So it's like the guy was talking about how like when you throw the grenade, the energy grenade, you're gonna like when you like aim it, it's gonna be like in your hand, and then as you throw it, it's gonna like fall off a little bit. So you're like, oh, you can like feel it getting farther away from your hand.
It's neat.
Which these are things that they could totally just be like hype things where I'm gonna like
rumble.
feel it, and I'm gonna be like.
Oh, I can count the ice cubes.
A little bit.
That's wild.
Oh, HD Rumble.
That could be cool. The triggers, I think the triggers will be a big
The
thing.
triggers are neat.
Yeah, because like, this is definitely not the first console that have. The
Xbox Elite controller.
I've definitely played
has
something
haptic feedback
because
in the
like
triggers.
the driving game. I've done the driving game thing where like you hit the water or the ice and it goes down. You're like,
It
whoa.
was called the Elite. It's not called the Elite.
Yeah, the Elite
Is
controller.
it? Okay.
Yeah. I want to buy one. The Elite 2 is out now.
The Elite 2 might be the one that has it.
Yeah, I really want to get one. If it works with the new box, I might
Works on PC, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what I would get it for,
Yeah.
primarily. Because like my controllers are just gone to fucking shit at this point.
Yes. I hear about it every single time I play any video game.
I'm
with you.
sorry, Andy.
Why'd you plug it in, Matt? Oh, I'm not a peasant. I'm not doing that.
And I just want to let everyone know why I was standing still for the last 5 minutes. I'm like, oh, sorry, boys, controller disconnected. Let's go for a quick break. That, in a nutshell, there is your opening. What do they call it? Gamescom Opening Night live stream announcements and awards and what have you.
What was your big one?
12 minutes, definitely.
12 minutes?
Yeah. I actually forgot that game existed, and even when they were just talking about it, I'm like, oh,
They talk about
yes.
it twice a year for the last 5 years, though.
Yeah, but they always just show that room, and you're like, that looks cool. I look forward to that coming out one day.
They've probably just been showing the same clip for the last 5 years.
They could have been, honestly.
Probably said Willem Dafoe the last time. It's just been so long since we forgot.
Yeah.
12 minutes for me.
Yeah.
What about you?
Ratchet and Clank or Legos. Like Ratchet and Clank was the one that made my jaw hit the floor. Lego Star Wars just is like, that's a 100%. I'll like that game.
Yeah.
I know I'll like that game. That'll be fun. I'll sink a lot of hours in there.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the exact same page.
Lego Star Wars.
Yeah, Ratchet and Clank, dope.
Little Nightmares stuck with you?
Well,
I like Little Nightmares too.
I'm curious. I feel like I'd want to play that first one, just to kind of get
the story.
I don't know what.
but,
Yeah, I don't know what the story's like. If it's a lot like, I know so little about that game that maybe like I say like, oh, the lore of Little Nightmares, but maybe I play Little Nightmares 2 and it's like trying to play Mass Effect 2 after 1, where you're like, I have no idea what's happening.
None of these sex options make any sense in Little Nightmares 2. I don't even know the first game.
Why do I have sex with this fucking green lizard?
Remember when we Mass Effect Remaster rumors that they were going to sexy up the sex scenes, or that they are sexying up the sex scenes?
There was like a whole weird list that I believe in less and less every day. They were like saying we're going to change one of the boss fights in
Benezia, and the Arachnite Queen would now be separate encounters because
Right.
fighting them both at the same time was bullshit. And
which it was.
it was.
But
Fuck, that list is too specific to not be at least somewhat real.
it also kind of looks like a list that, like, if I gave you a piece of paper and I was like, Matt, what would you do? Then you would be like, well,
and
I'd fucking change the
Benezia and
Arachnite
Arachnite Queen should be different. Let's go for a quick break. We'll come back here, talk about our games, talk about some news on the other side of this musical. Video games. Gentlemen, you been playing any of them?
No.
Great.
I can start.
Okay. I very quickly just say I'm playing through Control again.
Yes.
Prepping for Control spoiler cast. That DLC is out today. We'll play it soon and have a spoiler cast soon after, hopefully.
Yes.
Also, it is so good.
You're really... It's going to be tough because I think we're going in with only 2 people doing that spoiler cast. And you're really going to have to drive. 'Cause I don't remember a ton of that game.
I'm definitely going to drive it, but I might spend all of it. What if we just read through all the item descriptions and like just talked about the items? Because that is honestly my favorite
like
part of that game.
Big folder of like all the printed out
I got
dossier
questions.
stuff.
I
Me
got
too.
questions. Also, I learned the C, the S in NSC stands for sarcophagus. I think I might have told you that. Sarcophagus.
Yes, you're right, because we thought it was containment.
I thought it was special containment. Apparently, it's sarcophagus containment.
Right. That's fucked up.
Special containments from Dragon Ball Z.
That's evil containment.
Evil
Right,
containment.
that's
Evil containment wave. Did you say they're adding Roshi to Fighter Z?
Yes.
And he does the evil containment wave in the trailer?
Yep. It's good. I mean, that's
So
his
good.
movie.
We should play that. The 3 of us could probably have a fine time
I
playing
own that on PlayStation.
So do
already.
I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You and I, Brad, can play that. I don't want to play with people
I'm really
online.
bad at
So
it.
am I.
Yeah.
Yeah. Playing each other would be fun, though.
Like, set it up. Be like, no, you gotta let me kill. I gotta kill you as Nappa so that we can see the.
Yeah, we'll just go through the
That's all it would be.
story. Yeah.
We'd start off actually playing, then we'd just be playing characters to see shit.
Yeah. I mean, I'd do it.
So would I.
Me too.
Okay. I played, I'll start with Ghost of Tsushima. 'Cause
Sure.
We've talked about it 100 times. I almost fell off that game. I was almost free. And then last night, I signed on to my PlayStation and I downloaded, or started downloading Mortal Shell. Mm-hmm. What it's called?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was like, well, this is going to take a while to download. I might as well play some Ghost of Tsushima. And then played like 5 hours straight and like had a fucking hell of a time.
When you hopped in the car and told me that today, my
Yeah.
first thought was, you fell off the wagon. Like, I was like
Yeah.
concerned for you in a way. I was like, oh God, Brando. Oh.
And I think this game gets we give it a bad rap sometimes because the lows are very low and they're often wide, where they throw a bunch of stuff in that game
Yeah.
where it's like
not-
time waster.
It's not that they're that low. It's just they are incredibly wide.
Right.
Where
yes.
like.
Yeah. It's very, yeah. It's like, okay, this is another fight.
Yeah.
The fighting is fun.
How many foxes do you want to fault? Though?
Yeah,
You know.
exactly. And none of them are that hard. Otherwise, none of them are hard at all, and none of them are that long.
How many banners do you want to run up to and collect?
Yeah, Nothing in that game. Everything's just like, you just sink as much hours into this fucking dumb side shit as you want.
Hot Springs make me laugh because you see his ass cheeks. Yeah. But that's about it.
Have you seen the video of him watching himself
going to the hot springs?
Yeah.
No.
It's so good.
You should send that to me.
Yeah. When he sees his ass, he's like, yes. He seems like a good man.
Best new character of the year, Jin's cheeks.
Yeah. But I got into, like, I kind of got to the way I kind of play this game is I clear out a bunch of the side stuff and then I just trudge through story missions for like a bunch of time. And that's what like the 5 hours I spent were almost all like mainline stuff and then the occasional like character specific side mission.
Yeah.
So it was kind of the higher quality stuff that game has. That mission that I think you said you stopped on, the Ghost of Yarikawa or whatever, and it's the one where you get your ghost ability. Mm-hmm. I put that on the list for Moment of the Year because I thought that was like not specifically getting the ability.
Yeah, I assume you mean the thing that happens to the characters in that. There's some stuff happens in that cutscene right after.
Yeah, and it's kind of the whole thing. Like, there's a big there's a moment right after you get your. I don't know how much I should spoil, but you get your new ability, you kill some people, and then it like all the troops really get rallied by it. They're like, yeah, for the ghost, and they like everyone knocks in the gates, and then everyone is just screaming during the fight, like for Soshima and everything. And it was like a really good battle sequence where I was just like, oh, this game should just be this. It should be all this all the time, just 50 people like rushing in to take over castles. But no, you get like 8 hours of fucking bullshit in between.
Yeah.
So I was super into that. And it was like a moment where like the music and the abilities and the combat and everything all clicked for me in a way where I was like, oh, this is this game. This is the fucking 5 probably great hours you get out of this game for all the time you put in. So I played a bunch of that, got hooked on it. I'll probably play a bunch more now. I'm in Act 3, so I can see the finish line. But I played 2 smaller games for free on the Game Pass, one of which we've talked about, one of which we haven't. I got into Undermine, which is a game Kevin talked about last week. Mm-hmm. And I'm not as far as Kevin was when he talked about it last week, so I'm not going to spend very much time on it. But that game seems like a addicting time sink.
Yeah, one of those Binding of Isaac likes.
Right, like I'll go home and play 5 runs as soon as I get home before I do anything else. Like, I just want to constantly be like, it's one of the good roguelikes, depending on what you're into, I guess, where you feel like you're never wasting a run.
Yeah.
Like, there are some of them where it feels like until I can break through this wall, I'm not going to get anything else from it. This is one of those ones where it's like, even if you die on the first level, you can dump some coins into upgrading your pickaxe or something.
Number always goes up.
So I'm really into that one. And then Spiritfarer, which I don't think we've talked about.
No, not yet. Let's talk of the video game podcast industry.
Yes. I think this game is fucking rad.
Oh, yes.
With a capital R. This game is like if you took all the little things I did like about like an Animal Crossing or a game like that, which sometimes I negatively refer to as chore games, but when I talk positively about, I call them
chores.
Right, chores. But when I talk positively about them, as I'm going to do about this, I call them plate spinners, which is basically the same thing.
Oh, yeah, not wrong.
Yeah. This is a good plate spinner.
Management game.
Yeah. Where you're just constantly monitoring moods and knowing what people like to eat.
Hell yeah.
And giving the people who like to eat those things so that their mood comes up. And in turn, the people who are in better moods, there's like a tier system where the better mood you're in, the more different perks you'll contribute back to your little community. Which
you're
is
building a boat.
Yeah. I guess to start with the story stuff, you basically take over for... I can never remember his name. Charon?
Or Charon.
Or Charon. Yeah. The man who takes spirits from one side of the river Styx to the other.
The boatman on the river. The boatman on the river Styx.
Right.
That's right.
And
is he the river Styx, or is he like the Fledge? There's a lot of rivers. Listen, I'm not confident that Charon sails the Styx, but
right.
a river
that he's ferrying souls across.
Fledgeathon, or
specifically in this game, you are ferrying souls from the living world to the beyond. And your boat is very much a place for them to kind of come to terms with themselves and kind of say, not to spoil the end of Lost, reminds me a lot of the end of Lost, where it's like, this is kind of a purgatory world where everyone kind of gets to give their last handshakes and tie up their loose ends before they cross over. And you're the captain of this boat, you and your cat named Daffodil. Cat's great. Andy, fucking gonna love the cat.
Excellent. Already a great name, so.
And you are able to control this boat and kind of given this worldly power through these things called the something light, which are these light orbs. You keep yours and you use it to control everything on the ship, the navigation and everything uses the light orb. And then your cat also has one, which it uses as a cat toy in a very adorable way. So what you're basically doing is instead of a river, it's much more like a Wind Waker style ocean.
It's not a lake.
Yeah, you're right. It's not a lake.
Oh, God.
Crossover. And you are going through this ocean and going to different islands and kind of finding people who it's their time to join your crew. And then as they join
the implication being they have died.
The implication being they have died, kind of the metaphor there. But as they board your boat, they all kind of contribute. So one guy will help maintain your boat as long as he's happy. And one person is one person I don't really know because she's got a whole big side quest line attached to her. And then one person's kind of your first mate. And I think helps you manage the other people. So when you start, it's just a boat, but you're building like a kitchen on it, and then you build a garden on it, and you build a guest house for people to stay in. But then as the guest house gets filled, then people come to you and be like, hey, I don't want a guest house, I want my own house. And you're building all this stuff.
What kind of a permanency are we? How long are people staying on this boat? Aren't they going to the afterlife right away? Like, we're going to set you up a whole house?
Days. I've played probably 2 or 3 game hours, which is like, I think I've played weeks in game time.
Yeah, time moves differently in the afterlife, exactly. Obviously.
Sure. But it's also like, it's because we're not in, this is why I thought the river Styx, because I'm like finding like live people, not all of which are coming with me. Like it seems like
aren't dead.
I'm in like a mortal plane collecting people for my boat so that I can take them to the afterlife. I don't think we're in proper purgatory yet.
Yeah, the boat is very much in the real world.
Right.
It seems.
Yes.
Interesting.
But I'm not positive because I'm pretty early in the game, so maybe they're gonna do that. So then it's basically about your growing gardens, so you can make coffee beans, so that you can take the coffee beans to the kitchen, cook them to make coffee, so that you can give them to the person on your crew who likes coffee to up their mood, so that they can give back, and it's just all kind of feeding into itself in a way. And while you're doing all that, then there's like actual traditional quests that people are giving you. Like, I've been having nightmares about this place, we gotta go, and you're going to islands, which are then like very simple 2D side-scrolling kind of minor platforming segments. And it seems like they try and like cram a bunch of different mechanics. Like, there's one where you have a guitar that you can play to increase the speed that your vegetables are growing.
Okay.
But that is like a more Guitar Hero style, like letters, like a rhythm game.
Okay.
And it's like that. You're hitting
pretty dope.
Hitting the letters. But then there's another part where it's you can go through these areas which are basically places where you can farm the currency, which is light, with these like beads of light, and they're in jellyfish, and the jellyfish are coming like high, low, medium, and you're using platforms to like just jump up and down and touch them. Like, it's like they put a lot of like mini games into the collecting whatever you need parts of this game.
Yeah.
In a way where it kind of always feels like, oh, now I get to do this thing now. This is different than, whereas not to bag on Animal Crossing or any game like it, but it's kind of like, well, if you want to either sell the stuff or you like, the mechanics are never that different, right? You're fishing.
You're never platforming in Animal Crossing.
Exactly. And it just seems like it's like, well, we took a bunch of that stuff and we put it all in here and everything does a different thing.
Yeah, that seems cool.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people say a lot of really positive things about Spiritfarer.
The animation is really cool. Like, it's one of those games where you'll just kind of appreciate the little things that a character will do, like while you're not interacting with them, but you're just like watching, like your uncle is like a big blue frog guy.
It's your uncle?
Yeah, like everyone's an animal.
Weird. And they're all related to you.
They're not all related to you, but they all seem to have prior knowledge to you before now. Like, they're all like a relation to you.
Not a blood relation, but know you or knew you.
Exactly.
Weird. Did they ever say what happened to the Spiritfarer? Is the Spiritfarer alive or dead?
Charon?
Yeah.
Yeah, he literally like he hands you the keys to the boat, basically.
But do you find out, did you die? Is he like, oh, hey, you were in a car accident, and now you gotta crew the
You
boat?
have not yet. You seem like a person who is
Doing a job.
Yeah, doing a job. You come to the edge of the water, and Charon's there, and he's like, "Yo, I'm out. I'm not doing this anymore. This is my last day. You're taking over." And you have very little backstory for your own character, which I assume is stuff that they get to.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah, it's really good. I'd 100% recommend it to people who are into those plate spinners.
Hell yeah, it's on Game Pass.
Yes,
Plate spinners,
which is a shame because I would 100 if it was the same on everything. Seems like a phenomenal Switch game. But I could not get it on the Switch, and knowing it was free on the Xbox, so now I cannot play it on my Switch.
What else?
That's it, I think, for me.
That's it. Yeah, I don't have anything to share. So no. What I played a bunch of Tetris 99 with the roommates the other day.
Any wins?
So.
Can't go wrong.
God no.
So you playing a little more League?
Oh yeah, stupid League of Legends. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that.
Already like fallen out of love. Already disenfranchised.
I never really was in love with it. My roommate was getting really mad last night. His true colors showed. And I mean, I get mad at games too, so I can't even blame him. But yeah, he was getting a little mean where he was like,
say a racist
me and another buddy were sitting there playing, and he's just, I sure wish someone on this fucking team would help me. And I'm like,
brings out the worst in
I'm like,
I almost said us in them.
Yeah, well, and that's what Brandon and I were talking as we do on the way over here. And when we're playing Overwatch, we blame it on everybody else. We never include your friends in it, even if your buddy's made a mistake or something. You never
blame it on the guy.
Yeah.
Blame it on a guy who can't hear.
Yeah,
you.
League it's so much easier because League you can literally watch. You can go like move your camera to what someone else is doing. It's so much easier to see everybody else's fuck up. So you can be like, ooh, I can tell that person really fucked up. Where in Overwatch, it's just chaos. And you can only see what's in your 90-degree FOV or whatever.
Right.
And like usually I'm looking at this guy trying to shoot that fucking hamster dude because he's spinning all crazy around the thing.
But it's not even about that. It's not even about the ease in which you can see
I can jump off the ledge in Overwatch and no one knows. If you could jump off the ledge in League of Legends, everyone would know and would immediately be like, we need to kick this guy. He's tanking.
But like I said, it's not even about like the ability. Like, I mean, I know sometimes when my teammates fucked up in Overwatch, it's the fact that it's about blaming the other people.
Yeah.
It's about when we're playing Overwatch, everyone's with everybody. Like, we're all friends, and the people on our, because we never have enough to fill a whole team, thank God. Even if it's just a one person, we'd be like, this fucking one guy. If this one guy was pulling his weight, we'd be fucking winning this thing.
Our go-to is because the tanks and the healer classes always match really fast. So we usually have one DPS is usually open, and we always blame whoever's healing, which is usually me. My scapegoat is, well, what their DPS keeps killing me because our DPS isn't killing their DPS fast enough.
and not the one that we know.
That works.
I mean, I see the one like Andy's playing the other DPS, and Andy, you're doing great.
Yeah, well, usually the first was like, this fucking DPS, and somebody like, oh, I'm DPS.
Yeah.
The other DPS.
Well, and then you'll be grilling the other guy, and then I'll pull up my medals, and I don't even have a bronze in kills. I'm fucking Ash, and I'm like, that guy's doing really bad.
And then we'll have the occasional time where one of them will be like, oh, this fucking Reinhardt, and then Warren will be like, I'm Reinhardt.
That's me.
And I'll be like, I didn't mean that, honestly. You're doing great.
Yeah, that doesn't happen too often anymore, and I think partially is because I just don't yell as much anymore as I used to at that stuff. But
I don't know if I believe that.
Well, I yell at myself though, but I never do it to other people.
You boys playing Overwatch on the regs anymore? Or? I pop on usually just for like 10
whenever
minutes.
you want to fucking play Overwatch.
Yeah, should I just text the boys?
I'm always craving Overwatch, and it's definitely fallen behind, but I think it's just because we not all of us want to play it all the time, whereas it's like top 2 on my list of games I want to play.
And even like usually when nothing's going on PlayStation, we're all just we're either watching Netflix or like everyone's on their Xbox in a way that you can just see people are like, I'll just invite some fellas and see what's up. But yeah, I just usually log on for like 10 minutes. I'm like, who's on? Oh, Warren's playing Chell with a bunch of these people I don't know. And Brandon's watching whatever.
You never want to like make someone come play.
Yeah, I don't want to be the guy who's like, you guys want to play Overwatch?
Yeah.
But if I'll look and be like, are they playing? Oh, I hope they're playing Overwatch. I could really go for a few games.
You can do that now though, because I think that before we kind of always used to hop on a lot more regularly, and just kind of it used to be the thing to do, and we've kind of fallen off that a little bit. So even too with Brando, he was getting mad there for a while because I wouldn't tell him if I hopped on and I was playing with Warren, and I was like,
I don't know. I was always like,
well, that's mean. You guys are in the same apartment.
But
Warren
I just
be like, you want to play Overwatch with us?
But I figured that normally if he had the time to be gaming, he would just be on, right? But that's not the case.
Well,
you'll be playing PlayStation or something,
and PlayStation's one of it. But I think one of the biggest changes that have happened is I was just talking about this is because I have my Roku TV now.
So you watch all your
normally
things through your
you'd be
TV.
able to send me a message, but because I'd be on Netflix or Disney Plus
Oh,
or
now you're
something.
watching it through
Now
the
whenever
TV,
I'm
yeah.
watching all that stuff, I'm watching it through the TV. So
Yeah.
you can't. I'm not just invite away and then I can ignore it or not.
Your TV's 4K, right? Is it TCL or TLC? I always
TCL,
yeah. So
the one
watching
that's
watching it on your TV, you get the 4K.
Yep.
Like the Xbox doesn't do 4K.
No, yeah, exactly.
Even if you have a fancy HDMI cable.
Which is why I have. Well, I would have done it anyway because
Yeah.
it's nice to not run my Xbox for hours on end when I don't have to.
That's where I watch all my shit now too.
As soon as I booted, I remember when I first put my accounts on the television too, and I was like, "Wow, this is instantly better
Changes
looking."
your life.
Yeah,
Like,
I was like, "Holy
I-
crap! It's amazing how much better it looks."
I remember looking at TVs and people talking about like, oh, this one's got all the app support and everything. And I was like, what do I care about the app
Yeah.
support? Because I have an Xbox that runs all these apps. And you're immediately like, oh, it's fucking nice not to fucking turn the Xbox on.
I still do it. I will put on a Netflix show or whatever, start watching whenever I have to pause, use the restroom, and I'll turn on my Xbox controller to pause it, and it'll turn on the Xbox. I'm like, oh, shit.
That's the one thing I like most about it is I don't have to fucking turn on the Xbox.
Hard to have
controller.
break. Oh, but also, my remote control of my TV works with the Xbox
Yeah,
and the
see-
PlayStation. How crazy is that?
That's dope.
See, mine does too, but I was kind of
Blew my
like I thought it
goddamn
was cool
mind.
to start with, but then no, I don't give a fuck anymore. I never use it for that.
The biggest thing for me was the, oh, fuck, what was I going to say? Shit, I lost it on the
I don't know.
PlayStation controller thing.
Remote control, TV.
There was something about remote controls and
Netflix.
TVs. It's fine. I got to let it go.
Yeah, your TV
was
has the
saying-
Crave app. Mine doesn't. That's fucking bullshit. Also, the Crave app is bullshit. Crave app.
It's not as bad as the like Xbox Crave app. Like the
Yeah,
TV one seems
the TV
different.
one is substantially better.
I'll have to do more.
Or it changed.
It could have.
Yeah.
But so last I checked, which was like a few months ago, Crave across the board, only 1080p, only stereo sound. No, nothing above 1080p, nothing 5.1.
Yes. No, I thought you were talking about like interface and stuff.
No.
Oh, yeah.
And also the interface is
The interface is way better now than
Yeah,
I remember when we were
it's
watching
not
it here.
terrible.
We were watching Game of Thrones here when we were doing our Westworld FM.
like couldn't find it.
or Westeros FM, yeah. And it was like we couldn't find it. It was that there was no way to get to like a specific part of the show. It would like jump like by like minute and a half chunks or something.
It was fucked. But the interface is good, but the quality is still so shitty. So you're watching all your HBO Max shows like Lovecraft Country. Fuck, I always say county. And whatnot in really shitty quality, which sucks.
No.
Yeah.
Also, Lovecraft Country, so dope.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Wow. Episode 1, I was like, I don't know about this show. Episode 2, holy fuck, am I ever into that show?
Episode 1 fucking took off in the last 10 minutes, and the first.
Episode 1, you have no idea. By the end of that episode, you're like, what is the world?
Yeah, it really like episode 1 really gives you a belief on what the show might be about, and then the last 10 minutes are like, no, it's not. And then episode 2 kind of just takes that and runs with it.
Oh, love it. Everyone should watch it.
Everyone
HBO
should
Max.
watch it.
I got a few news stories here for us this week. Gentlemen, somewhere. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Nintendo is apparently releasing an upgraded Switch next year. What is the 1X is the more powerful version of the Xbox One? Is that correct? I think
Yes.
it is a
Yes.
Switch X of a more powerful Switch. One that can do
Don't do that. We're just gonna end up even more lost than we've ever been.
4K graphics and more computing power.
It's more like a Switch Series X, I guess.
Switch Series S maybe. This came out of a Bloomberg article, and it has been rumored for a long time. Makes very good sense.
Oh, absolutely.
For some reason, I thought this happened already.
Yeah,
because
like when the light came out, surely they released the heavy a little while
whatever
later.
the other one was, and I remember it all going like part and parcel with like if you get like this model, then your battery life is better. And
So that was just the revision of the base one.
I know
Yeah,
it was,
that's all it
that's
was,
totally
yeah.
what I was thinking
Yeah.
about when this came out.
And apparently it is going to, so this Bloomberg article says that it is going to launch alongside they just say, quote, a stronger lineup of games, and get into how maybe Nintendo's had a very light first party this year.
Even last year, it wasn't that heavy.
Yeah, like they've,
you know,
where
they've had a couple
are
big
the
ones.
Yetroids, and like there's a couple
Like we had
key
a year,
things.
we had a year where Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild came out.
That's launch
Yeah,
year.
the launch year.
Yeah.
And then it feels like every year from then we've gotten their best game has been not as good as either of those.
Yeah.
Like
And the thought is maybe because this new one is going to launch with a whatever stronger lineup of games, maybe they're saving releases to almost have not a new console
Right.
launch, because this should run on every Switch, but here's our new thing, and
I mean, you can give away those games with the new model at like a markup, like
Yeah.
have the whole bundle thing. And
Yeah. Well, and
Breath of the
especially
Wild
like no one
2,
wants fucking
it might
wants
make a
Paper
lot
Mario
of sense to
Breath of the Wild 2? You think
Yeah.
that'd be
Well,
on
that's gonna be that'd be a banger because
That would make a lot of sense to launch with your new thing.
there? But that launches this year, doesn't it?
We don't know. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows about that. Yeah,
We don't know the Switch, I mean.
The Switch launches
next year.
next year.
Yeah,
2021.
next year. We don't know about Breath of the Wild, but
No.
if Breath of the Wild 2 would be perfect for that because then you're gonna brag up the fact that your graphics are better and
Yeah.
it runs better, and that's the game that if it's bigger than that first one was, then that's going to be a
Breath of the Wild. It ran okay, but there were some spots like Kakiri Village and stuff that.
Yeah, well, I found on I played it all the way through on Wii U, and it
was really bad. The
definitely
Village
struggled.
was bad on Wii U.
I played for it on Wii. Played it on Wii U as
So
well.
did I.
Yeah, and but the Switch it runs pretty damn good on. So
It's still a little like there would be room for a technical showcase for them to be like, look how much it's a 60 frames locked or whatever.
Oh,
like
yeah,
there's
no,
still room. The
yeah.
Switch could not run that game at a solid 60 1080.
yeah, no, absolutely. But it wasn't like even on the Wii U I was still fine with it, but it was more noticeable. On the Switch I was like, yeah, this is still it's a good game. I can handle these little glitches every now and then.
Yeah.
They need to. You would think they need to put something out for the holiday season, and I have no idea what it is. If it's that Mario collection that's been rumored or what.
Like
but
right now, Pikmin Remastered it seems like
Yeah.
their big thing, and that's not.
I wonder
really
if this
a big
is
thing.
their, this lack of announcements for this holiday is them saving some for whenever this new Switch comes out.
Yeah,
you would
could
think, like
But it feels like
March
it's been,
or April.
It feels like it's been slow
Yeah.
already.
When
Like
Paper Mario is like
Paper Mario is the thing.
semi-recent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean it was
the only.
It was good.
It was
First
really
party?
good. And Paper Mario was weird though too because it just fucking came out of nowhere. Like they were like,
Yeah.
hey, we got a new Paper Mario game coming out. Check this out.
Here it
by the
is.
way, it's only 2 months.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, okay, awesome. So,
Yeah.
odd. Nintendo just fucking weird. Just weird with their
Very
stuff.
Nintendo-like solution.
That's right. I love when I have a game that I really love on the Switch because
Yes.
I can take it to work, play it on the weekends when I'm not actively working and stuff, and it's just a great feeling to wake up and go to work and be like, I'm gonna have some fun today.
Yeah.
When I can squeeze it in. And right now it just feels like since Paper Mario ended, there's nothing that I'm like super into. I might play that bug game that Andy was playing.
Bug
but
Fables.
The
Yeah.
Bug Fables, yeah.
Be
When-
something to tide you over.
When the Switch first came out, I went and bought it on a work day at a job site and spent a lot of the rest of that week because I was working by myself, just hanging out playing Mario Odyssey.
Hell yeah.
You cannot beat the feeling of knowing you are on the clock
Yeah.
and you're playing video games.
Getting all these shines, motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's good. Fuck, and that's gonna feel so good when all those remasters come out. You got fucking Mario games up the ass.
Yeah, I
Fuck
was
yeah.
very much like we had the conversation when they announced that was allegedly in the works, where I was like, I mean that's
the Mario
good.
remaster?
the collection
Yeah.
of Super Mario
64
All
and
Stars 2
Galaxy
or whatever
and
they
whatever.
were saying. Yeah.
those 3 games.
And I remember saying I don't care. Like it's good that they're coming out. I'm glad they exist, and whoever wants to play those games, it's good that they can play a new version on a console that's easy to access. But I don't really care. I don't need to play all those games again.
Yeah.
With literally nothing coming out on Nintendo, all of a sudden you start being like, I'll probably play through all those games again.
I haven't played Galaxy in so many years since it came out that I could really do with another Galaxy playthrough. I don't remember anything. I remember the Boo haunted house planet thing.
Sure.
The
Oh, I can't
equivalent.
even
And
remember
that
that.
was it.
I can remember
Well,
like
and
the first planet, and that's
And
it.
2 was
It's too better. Like, do people?
yeah, people love
2 is awesome.
Two is
I played through. I
better
think
than the first one.
Yeah,
people
it's
think,
2.
right?
What I wouldn't say better. I would just say equal. Like
Yeah.
it was fucking for a sequel to that game using the exact same concept. It was fucking amazing.
I've never played
like,
2, I don't
just
think at
throwing
all.
Yoshi in there changed it up so much. I was like, this is great. Don't
Okay,
sometimes
alright.
Yoshi's okay, and he was okay in 2.
those games, those 3D games, the first party 3D Mario game of the day, have been very, very good, going all the way back to Sunshine, which is a game that I didn't even really dislike, but I know was not received nearly as well.
Yeah.
But it's just like I want them to put,
64 before that.
Yeah,
64 was a
yeah,
banger.
and 64 was great.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like
The stretch of not missing.
Yeah, when they put those games out, they are good on a clip that not many franchises are.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, it's a first party Mario game. It's going to be a fucking banger. It's just sad that we haven't had one since Odyssey.
Yeah. Well,
That 4 years, 2016, hey?
This seems like about a usual stretch for the
Yeah, we're
Mario
probably
games, isn't it?
almost due for
Yeah, no,
an
we're
Odyssey
due for
2
one.
or
Right.
something.
And there doesn't seem to be one on the horizon.
Yeah.
I guess is what
But
I'm concerned
New,
about.
stronger Switch, maybe.
It wouldn't. Well, exactly. Like they did with Paper Mario. Like they'll probably tease it up a little bit longer. But it wouldn't shock me if at the beginning of next year,
And
they're
it's
like, we're
out
gonna do a Nintendo Direct
today.
Fucking guess what?
No.
Breath of the Wild 2 and this new fucking Mario game out this summer.
Reggie comes back.
Oh god.
Reggie
yeah.
comes in with a Bigfoot pizza box and he opens it up.
Wearing
and
like a
Mario
full
Odyssey 2
Mario
is inside.
Yeah.
out right now.
Reggie's a good man.
The DC fandom.
Let's talk about the fandom.
Happened. The Snyder cut of the Justice League
Yes.
is going to be 4 fucking hours.
Yes, released in hour installments.
Oh my god. I
have to know.
don't
have
care.
to
I don't
know.
care. I super don't.
I tell
I'm out.
myself I
Nope.
don't care.
I don't
have
give
to
a
know.
fuck anymore.
Like it doesn't. So part of it,
And also, it's not up to like next year or
no.
something.
And part of it is that I don't understand how people think that the Snyder Cut is going to be so much better when Zack Snyder himself has made bad movies in this line of films,
Who did Man? He did Man of Steel already.
and he did Batman vs Superman.
Man of Steel
Yep.
fucking sucks.
Man of Steel's not good. You like
Batman
Man of Steel,
vs
okay.
Superman. No, fucking
Oh, I thought that was
sucks.
you.
No,
I said Man.
I thought you kind of liked it.
No, I
said
don't
it's-
like any of them.
Yeah, I went to watch that at the theater by myself, and I left being like, "That was just
left crying by
why?
myself.
Why? I should
Not
have just
good,
I
yeah.
should have just stayed at home and been sad there."
Batman vs Superman is Jesse Eisenberg is Lex Luthor, right?
Yeah.
Fuck, that's also a bad film.
Yep. Justice League's bad film.
Yeah.
I
Wonder
didn't
Woman.
hate Justice League.
Wonder Woman, I enjoyed.
Wonder Woman was
Did
good.
Snyder do Wonder Woman as well? No. These are okay. These are just DC films,
Yeah,
not
it was a-
not
It was
not
a
Zack
female
Snyder
director
films.
for Wonder Woman. That's what it was.
But the point is, Zack Snyder
Okay, they
has
don't let
made
ladies direct movies, Andy.
Zack Snyder has made bad DC movies in this line, and everyone's like, release the Snyder Cut.
Who's the only one
He's
that's going
gonna
to save it?
He could save
Batman
it.
vs Superman truly sucks a lot. I
Yeah.
really don't like Batman vs
Yeah,
Superman.
bad
no,
movie.
I
Jesse
totally agree.
Eisenberg is so insufferable. in
Only part
movie.
about that movie that was great, and I watched a clip of it the other day, is when fucking Batman blows into that building and saves Superman's mom. That was the only cool part of that movie.
I can't even remember
And then there's
that.
the Martha mix-up.
Well,
Yeah.
that was stupid. That,
The
that's
whole-
like the
because the
whole
whole
movie.
plot-
Because
hung on
literally
that.
both their mothers are named Martha, right? And that's
Yeah.
the whole thing of like Martha Wayne and Martha Superman.
And then it was like, I guess like they were trying to make it like an empathy thing where it's like, oh, we're not so different, you and I.
because both their moms are named Martha.
Yeah.
God damn it.
It was so dumb.
And somewhere, like I'm telling you, somewhere people are fucking rattled by even just what we're saying now.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
no.
people love that Martha
Yeah,
reveal.
Always. People like Star Wars Episode 9. There are bad takes on the internet.
It's true.
This is great. Star Wars Episode 9 was fantastic.
I'm
You
just
don't- you
teasing.
didn't-
I'm just
you-
teasing.
he's
Do you
lying.
really listen
He's
there?
lying.
This I like Episode 1. I will never make fun of anyone for liking any Star Wars. Do you really like Episode 9?
The second watch through, maybe it was because the hype was a little bit less. I was like, there's parts that I enjoyed. I enjoyed it.
I'm
Parts-
there.
parts.
I'm there with you on that too. I
Yeah,
remember
okay.
watching it for the second time with Warren, and Warren liked it the first time.
Yeah.
And
Warren like teared up the first time.
yeah, and watching it with Warren and being like, like the not great stuff kind of just gets washed away, and the best parts of that movie come out because you're not hanging everything on it, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're not like, this is it.
Yeah.
The second time you watch it is very much like, this is still Star Wars. It's still pretty dope. That lightsaber fight on the fucking wall with the water
Yeah,
going,
yeah,
that's
that was
fucking
good. That was
dope.
good
That's
scene.
very
That
good.
little mechanic dude was A-okay by my...
Babu Frick is
Yeah.
the poor man's Baby Yoda.
And I think that, that was watching it that second time. I had already kind of, been upset with all the bad stuff from that first run. So I just looked at it for the good things that second
Just
run.
close your eyes.
Well, I just appreciated the good
kiss.
stuff.
And it's a lot...
I didn't hate the kiss. I didn't hate the kiss in the first,
So
first watch either.
I didn't like the kiss.
Yeah, see, I wasn't bugged by the kiss.
But
I'm a horny man, though, so.
that's true. And those are two good-looking people.
Did-
They are.
Have you ever watched? Sorry to interject. Have you ever watched John Oliver's Last Week Tonight on HBO?
Oh, yeah, I watch that quite consistently.
The Adam Driver bit that he does every like
Oh
3
yeah,
weeks,
every now and then
where
he throws
just
it
puts
up
a picture
where
of
he has
Adam
the
Driver
picture,
up and is just like
with the shirt
and
shirt off.
always shirt off, and always is just like how in love he's slam me into the carpet, you massive, like he just every single time, every 3 or 4 weeks, picture of Adam Driver and him just being like
Just the rant that he goes on.
The most
Push
raunchy
me up
shit.
against the wall with those magnificent pectorals, Adam Driver.
it's one
And
of
then
my
he'll cut
favorite
away, he'll go
recurring
to
bits
another
on
bit.
TV.
And then like 2 minutes later, he
Yeah.
fucking throws throws it back up there. And then
You won't see it for 6 weeks, and then boom, Adam Driver back on screen again. Fucking A.
That's good.
That's very good.
Did you see Marriage Story?
No, it looks real sad. Do you think I should watch it?
It's kind of sad.
Feel
it's
feelings?
You leave it in a happy place.
Okay.
So
I haven't watched it yet.
Whatever that I've watched sad movies. There's a difference between a movie being sad and a movie ending sad, and that movie does not end sad.
It looks like a very human performance. It looks like a kind of exhausting watch. Maybe is the way to say it.
Yeah, it was very
Need
much
to be in the right mind frame.
It was a film that, like, by description and stuff, shouldn't have done anything for me, and it was one of those, like,
that's a big part of
these
it.
These are fucking two really good actors doing fucking really good acting, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Much like Andy's favorite film, The Lighthouse.
That's a film.
Is that like semi-new?
Yeah.
No, well,
I don't get the joke. I haven't seen The Lighthouse. Is it bad?
No,
So the reason I watched it is after watching, which we're
gonna bring it right back.
Yeah, we're gonna
bring it right back at the end.
But after watching the trailer for Robert Pattinson's Batman movie, I figured, damn, I should go fucking look at some Robert Pattinson's good movies, the ones that make him.
He's fucking done some bangers since he fell off the Twilight cliff.
Yeah, like let's go see the reason why he's good now. So I watched The Lighthouse, and that movie's fucked. Because it's just like, I don't know who the other guy is.
Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, fantastic.
Oh, no.
Tremendous. So two guys go to a island.
Oh, it's black and white, right?
Yeah,
black and white, and it's 4:3.
Yeah, the aspect ratio is old school.
I remember the Willem monologue, or the one take, he doesn't blink.
Yeah.
There's like
Camera's
one long
just
speech he
slowly zooming
does.
on his
Yeah,
face,
where I just saw a thing on Reddit where like, he actually didn't blink for 4.5 straight minutes during this take or something.
There's also another take in there where he has to
madman.
do some stuff where I'm. Yeah, just it's
one
weird.
of those movies where it's like these two actors are just fucking unbelievable, and I'm not really sure what this movie's about, but holy fuck are they going after it.
Yeah, and like one of those ones too where after you finish watching it and you always look at actors and stuff and you're like, oh, it'd be a glamorous job, that wouldn't be too hard, blah blah. That would be a hard movie to like finish up. Like I'd be exhausted at the end of that having to do what they had to do.
Fuck, I love movies.
I should watch that. I like movies too.
You should watch The Lighthouse. Yeah, it's like you're gonna be haunted by lighthouse horns for the rest of your life after seeing it.
God.
But it's cool. Yeah, it's very artsy and neat.
Yeah, there's one of the most like disconcerting sounds in the world in that.
Are you talking about the scream?
At the very end, there's a sound that comes out. I won't
Obi-Wan
spoil it.
doing the Tusken Raider. Whoa!
It's kind of like that. It is like, it's almost a synthy sound where it's like, when I heard it, I was just like clutching my bed. She's like, ah!
Was it, without spoiling, was it when he was looking into the light?
Yes.
I don't want to.
Okay, there we go, yeah.
Have you guys seen Annihilation? There's a lot of good sound design.
I have not
about
seen
the
Annihilation.
Really?
I should watch that one.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. I think it still is. It's dope. So dope. All female cast. Well, female leads.
Right.
It's so good.
Men are just there
I
for
think
killing.
female director also, maybe.
Yeah, probably. Usually that's what happens.
I think Annihilation was. Yeah, it was real dope. Natalie Portman. Other actresses that I don't know the names of.
I should watch that.
I do like Annihilation.
Put it on the list.
Put on the list. Willem Dafoe. While we're doing our what we've been watching segment here in the middle of news.
Yes.
I finished the new episodes of Lucifer, which started off very bad.
I'm watching through those right now too.
And it's trash television. Like, it is true garbage. Like, it is criminal of the week.
Yeah.
They need to solve a murder every week.
Right.
Yeah.
The acting, it is like terrible overacting, like CSI used to be.
Yeah. Or I thought the thing I always compare it to is Bones. Like
Bones.
it's very Bones, except with a different concept.
It is like the worst acting you've ever seen.
Yeah.
I think it's still bad. I finished the 8 episodes they have out. I think it stays consistently bad all the way through, but by like episode 3, I had stopped seeing it. I was like, hey, we're back.
Yeah.
Look, we're having fun with the fellers again.
You need those shows.
Well,
that
that's
show
what I
sucks.
like about that show is where there's just something about it where I'm like, it's kind of corny and stuff,
It's
but I don't know.
so fucking cheesy, and
Yeah.
it's.
Oh, something about it though.
I know. There's something about it. It's not very well written. It's not very well acted.
Well, no, I really
it's
like
not very well produced.
I like the two main people. I think they're all right. I like
They're
the main
okay.
dude.
This new season sucks with them.
Lucifer's good. Yeah, it's
This new, like, are they gonna hook up? Aren't they gonna? It's
well, and it's gone on too long now.
God
Where
damn it.
I'm like, it's been this whole thing.
5
up to-
literal seasons.
Yeah, it's.
We need to have a TV and movie podcast.
wrap this up.
we flesh out our video game one with
Yeah,
what we've been
that's
watching.
I will say my last note on Lucifer, despite we admitting that it is like not the best show ever, I recommend for anybody to throw that show on. Just watch it. Yeah.
It's my garbage go-to show.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, because I've had time off, I could carry this segment for another
12 hours.
Yeah, all the stuff you've watched.
I've watched more in the last 72 hours that I think I've ever watched in my life in terms of like different movies and shows and everything.
Just been giving it.
Yeah. Anyway,
The fandom.
Yes, Robert Pattinson's Batman.
Yes. Okay, that's what is he Batman in? I didn't even.
He is Batman in The Batman. The
new Batman.
New Batman.
What's the new Batman called?
The Batman.
The Batman. Yep.
It's like it's
Is it a remake? Is it like a reboot?
No, so this is him 2 years into being Batman.
Yeah.
And he's going up against the Riddler.
Yeah. So it is a new franchise. Like,
Yeah.
like it is not tied to any other movie in the way that
Could have different. Jim Gordon could be a lady
totally. I think
this time. Jeanette Gordon.
Andy Serkis is Alfred.
Andy Serkis.
Yeah. The
young
Golem, right?
Oh yes, sorry. I was thinking. I was thinking Andy Samberg. I was like, fucking. This is Lex Luthor all over again.
Andy Samberg pull it off.
As Alfred.
And then the Penguin is Colin Farrell.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't remember the Riddler,
No, me neither.
but he's Seth from Looper.
Seth.
Younger guy with the longer hair, younger than Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Anyway, not a kid.
I don't remember the younger guy. Riddler. I'm gonna look him up right now.
Or Seth from Looper.
We're all doing it.
Yeah.
And then Robert Pattinson, Kravitz. What's Kravitz's daughter? Zoe Kravitz is Catwoman, I believe, or Selena Kyle. I think she's billed as so.
Yeah, maybe she'd become Paul Dano.
Dano,
is
yes, Dano.
the Riddler. Weird.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a whole new Batman. It's which you can ask the questions as I always do. Why do we need another Batman?
Do they show the Waynes dying in the?
Not in the trailer.
Why do we?
But he's 2 hours in, or 2 years into
Yeah,
the thing. So hopefully
we better not.
That's
see
close.
that.
That's close enough to. Well, no, I guess say that was a kid. Theoretically, when the Waynes died.
I think that joke has
Please
gone
don't
on
show it
longer
to us.
than the actual execution of it. Like I feel like we haven't got the Wayne thing since like
Batman
Christian
versus
Bale.
Superman.
Dark Knight Rises. Yeah, they laid
Batman
it in.
versus
They laid
Superman,
it in
they
pretty
did it.
heavy.
They do it in Batman
They
versus
did,
Superman.
and that's also why that movie
Because
sucked.
you need the Martha thing.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well, I
because
knew they did the Martha.
You need Martha
thing.
Wayne.
I thought they
to
were
be a
just
main
trusting us
character.
to know Martha.
No,
at
they
that
did it
point.
off the top, and it took like 20 minutes for
Uncle
them to get
Ben.
through it. Like we got the whole Batman backstory. I was
All
like,
right, you're right then. I retract my comment. You have the right to be worried. They're going to rehash it.
so we don't need to see it again. I'm done with that. They need to do it like they did with the new Spider-Man when they got Tom Holland in there, and we know what the fuck happened
Yeah.
to Spider-Man.
Have a little
Like,
faith in your audience. Trust that your audience is
Yeah.
not.
like let's fucking.
People are
go.
coming to see another Batman film. They
Yeah.
probably know the Batman story.
Or
you
even
should
if
watch
they-
that trailer though. I think you'd
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah,
and they
you
don't
re-
give
yeah.
they don't give a ton away.
No, but
So-
it's cool though.
I heard
Like,
something about eyeshadow. Here's something about
Yeah.
eyeshadow.
Yeah.
So that's a cool bit where like Batman has the eyeshadow on underneath the cowl.
They've never
right?
ever acknowledged
They
it.
never acknowledge it. In fact, in old movies, they have him take off.
Cowl comes off.
The cowl comes off, and the eyeshadow's gone.
Yep.
And you can see the shot where they take the eyeshadow off.
He's wearing
Through his
mask,
mask
no
still,
eyeshadow.
yeah. But there is a great moment where he's looking particularly emo, with his hair all flung down in front of his face and his mask on, and he's still got the eyeshadow. Where I'm like, yeah, this is my Batman.
They showed a Batman game. They showed two. Well, they showed a Batman and a Batman adjacent game.
Right.
The WB Batman game.
That
Sorry.
was a Batman show movie.
There's a Batman movie. That's right. Robin Pattinson, Batman movie.
Yes.
They also have Batman games.
Oh, and then a Batman adjacent game.
Batman games.
Gotcha.
WB's Batman-ish game. Gotham Knights. This was the Court of Owls, the mysterious trailers, things we've been hearing.
Which we didn't get like anything about the Court of Owls in this gameplay. But the
Other than
whole
Code
tease
Black.
has been-
Batman is dead.
Right.
Which is exactly how Arkham Knights ended.
But these are not a
This is
sequel.
not in the Arkham Knights universe. This is its own thing.
They could not have picked a more confusing way to do this.
No, especially calling it Gotham Knights, with that last one being the Arkham Knight.
Right.
Having the Code Black end Arkham Knights and start this
game.
Yes,
But
I'm
made
with
by
you.
different studios and not in the same universe.
That's right. There is W Montreal, who last made Arkham Origins
Right.
in 2013. Haven't seen any from them
Which
since.
was a good game.
was
Just
okay.
kind of lost in it wasn't as good as Arkham City.
And it was off-brand, right? Like Mark Hamill wasn't the Joker.
Right.
Kevin Conroy was still Batman, I think.
I think so.
But like it was
That's where
a
he
little.
gets- that's where he makes his bread.
Yeah, it was like a little.
Just a little off.
It felt like the game that WB was like, this is the sequel to City. This is in the Arkham series, and then Rocksteady was like, no, it's not. This is not a part of the Batman trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And had multiplayer. It had weird 3-teamed multiplayer where it was like Skullface, Two-Face's thugs, and Penguin's thugs or whatever were all not Skullface, Black Mask.
Black Mask. Ewan McGregor.
Is Ewan Black Mask?
In not in that game, but in Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
Man.
Matt Eads.
I am so asleep on DC stuff, apparently.
You should watch Birds of Prey.
You should watch Birds of Prey just for Ewan McGregor because he steals the show.
Yeah. It's not pretty. It's a
good flick.
Yeah, it has some cheesy parts too that you'll hate, but as a fan of Lucifer, you're going to be just fine.
Harley Quinn?
Harley Quinn and her kind of band of female criminal.
Yeah, I mean she's great too. I mean Margot Robbie's fantastic.
She's always good. It's Harley Quinn.
There's actually quite a few good little laughs that you'll get out of her too, which is pretty good.
We're never getting out of this show.
Mr. J.
No,
this show? We'll get out of here.
Yeah. Oh, no,
I almost don't want to.
But
don't worry.
Ewan McGregor's great in that movie because, and Brando and I both looked at each other in the theater when the fucking turning point happened. Yeah. You're going to fucking love his character off the start because he does some pretty funny stuff. You're going to be like, oh, he's really kicking ass. And then he does something that's fucked. And then you're like, this guy is awful. Like, he is just, it's amazing how well he can flip to like.
He plays jump rope with the comic relief and then like extra sinister villain very well.
Yeah, it's cool.
Wide range. Chapter. Old Ewan.
Yeah.
Gotham Knights.
Looks great.
Looks like the Arkham Batman games, kind of. Can be played, I guess, entirely single player or co-op. There are some leveling and RPG mechanics.
Numbers are popping out.
Numbers are popping out. Enemies have health bars. They talked about how if you fight Mr. Freeze at level 5, it'll be way different if you were to fight him at level 11 instead. You'd have different attacks and things. Boy, it's hard to play Avengers and then see this and go, is this also a games as a service game? They talked about loot. They talked about how you're upgrading your gear.
Well, and I think they announced this as a games as a service game a while ago. I think we were talking about it in the chat because I remember being upset then.
Yeah.
And that was probably a week ago or 2 weeks ago or whatever. Oh, no, sorry. I think that's the next one we're going to talk about.
Justice.
Yeah,
Kill the Justice League.
Yeah, this all goes back to capitalism, and it is very frustrating.
Fuck capitalism.
That people can't make good fucking games, that they don't have to sell their board members on how are you going to keep bringing money in.
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing that I love about the Sony, and not to... There's probably sinister parts of the Sony first party system too, but Sony first party games, I know what I'm getting. I'm going to pay $80. I'm going to get this great story. They're not going to sell me a bunch of stuff down the road.
Yeah. Yes, there's a whole conversation about is that model of making games sustainable, and
which it might not be. It's how I like to play. Maybe it's a bad way to make.
I'm
games.
Totally with you, but like every game is a games as a service. It feels like every game is this massive sprawling open world now with 20,000 collectibles and just
40
bloat
skins you can buy.
Yeah, it's
too much. I just want to play through a game sometimes.
So the combat they showed for this Gotham Knights thing, they showed like a bunch of different kind of tactics. You know, you can be stealth Batman. Nightwing just has guns. I think it was Nightwing. One of them just has guns. Just fuck it. Maybe it's Red Hood or someone.
Red Hood, I think.
I don't
literally
think Nightwing's not a gun guy.
Nightwing, I think, uses a stick.
Yeah. But anyways, he's just shooting people. And then they showed what looked a little bit like the Arkham combat. But if this is what they showed didn't look tight like Arkham does, where because it's a single player game, they slow time when you're flying across the arena or when you get big hits, right? Time dilates and it's really snappy and tight. This did not have that look to it
because it's a multiplayer game.
Probably because right? Yes, exactly. It's a multiplayer game, which
maybe you don't make this a multiplayer game.
Yeah, it's so hard. Just and because Avengers is gonna be the first one out, it's a little bit easier to be like, I will play Avengers and it doesn't seem great. And
I'll probably play this.
It doesn't seem great. I'll probably play this also, but it's going to be so hard not to just be like, man, the Avengers did not maybe do it for me. Boy, Gotham Knights looks a lot like that. Oh, boy, the next Batman game after that looks a lot like both of these.
Yeah, I think the what is it called? Kill the Justice
Suicide
League?
Squad.
Suicide Squad. Yeah. That's what I've been trying to... that doesn't look like anything yet, right?
Well, it's a 4-player cooperative shooter.
Right.
Coming out in 2022, and they did use the phrase games as a service.
Right, but we haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah.
Well, I totally agree with you on these first two. And even the Gotham one, it felt like it looked like there was more of a game... Avengers really reminds me of Destiny.
Yeah.
As it probably should. It's run down these similar environments and do the the vibe I got from Gotham is that there is a whole video game there that you can kind of play through and then replay these levels as you level up, but it didn't feel like that open world. You're going to go this way, now you're going to go this way. Like the stuff we watched looked like a level, a linear level.
Totally. And there was even
at
like
least maybe it's divided up differently.
there was like some cutscene, like some big set piece moments that you wouldn't expect to see in a Destiny like.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm
know.
not really sure. I'm very
frustrated that this is the path we must walk down.
Fatigued, maybe.
Yes.
I'm getting tired of this games as a service thing already, and we kind of haven't even gotten started yet.
Thoughts, Andy? Hate it? Love it?
I agree with both of this. Bunch of bullshit.
That's right. That's
You're
why we
fucking
brought
here, Andy. Rocksteady showed their next game, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which is a multiplayer third-person shooter. Playable online or solo, with players able to freely jump to other characters, coming out in 2020. 2022.
I thought this was a dope trailer.
Yeah.
It didn't show anything.
Zero. It's all
but
CG.
I very much enjoyed what I saw.
Superman looks evil. Samoa Joe voices King Shark.
That's all you need to know.
2022.
It's a long time.
That's a long time in a way that...
And Rocksteady
Why do you
has...
show this right now, I wonder? Is it because of all the Me Too
DC.
allegations against them, do you think? Where they had...
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I think it is because people have been so speculatory on what they've been working on, because we have passed the point of your next game should be out.
Yeah.
Like at the clip they were doing the Arkham games, and then it got to the point where everyone across podcasts and journalism were being like, we're about due
Yeah, they got to work on
for
something.
their next thing. So eventually I think they had to be like, this is what it is.
And what better time than
2022, shut up.
Snyder Cut of the Justice
Yeah,
League.
Yeah,
the fandom.
A lot of DC stuff. A
Fando.
lot of DC stuff coming out right now, so might as well add to the hype.
I would totally play a
Fun
game that had
fact.
Samoa Joe as Big Shark Man.
Says Warren, to bring this all full circle. Warren couldn't be here with us live, but is on the stream chat. Says the last Arkham game came out the week of the hot dog camping trip, which we were talking about at the beginning
Tron.
of this podcast.
Was that Tron?
No, that was the very beginning when I had the mics muted on the VOD. It's the last thing everyone heard
right,
was,
everybody-
and I never ate a hot dog again, or whatever.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is
Warren
crazy.
Barris,
He's always been a record keeper.
That's
the
right.
historian of the
He keeps the books.
Talking Ass's podcast. Also the photos. It's just incredible how much information
He's
that
our-
guy
our
holds
Or,
on to.
yeah, it's like he's never deleted a photo in his life.
And for a man, and
Big
probably
time
why his
archivist.
phone's not working half the time is because it's got so much shit on
No,
it.
And
he's,
he can
he's
find
on
them
it.
quick.
He's on it. He one time when he got a new phone, I helped him move all the like photos and stuff. I helped him save them and get them onto his new phone. He is the TR archivist.
Yeah, he gets them quick too. Like he can find a photo for the situation real fast.
He'll like send something and we're like, oh, was that last week when we were hanging out? He's like, no, that's from Nate. I was like, what?
And then sometimes when he gets drunk, without there being a situation at all, he'll just like bang out 10 in a row while we sleep, and then you wake up and you're like, oh geez, look at this nightmare.
Yeah, but they're all funny. Like,
yeah.
like they're all bangers. He's not just firing random
Pokemon.
bullshit.
What's the dude's name from Pokemon Snap who takes the pictures? That's Warren, but for drunk people.
His name might literally be Snap.
I think it might be.
I think you're right. Yeah. So we gotta start calling Warren Snap.
And also, Batman Blue. So this is probably in the Arkham continuity, the Suicide Squad game.
Yes, in fact, I think that's been confirmed.
Has it?
Yes.
The thing I was reading today. I guess this still makes sense. Batman may or may not be dead. The ending of Arkham Knight was Bruce Wayne's manor blowing up and Bruce Wayne retiring, quote unquote. But Batman's probably not.
So
dead.
I can't remember. There was a hidden extra scene in that game if you found all the Riddler trophies.
Yes, I think that was the manor blowing up.
That's what I was going to ask. Was that the manor blowing up, or did it end with the manor blowing up and then the scene was something that hinted to
him not
dead.
actually
being there?
Off the top of my head, I do
That's
not
fine,
remember. Yeah, I'll have to rewatch
This is a
at
Hail
some point
Mary.
here. Have to rewatch and
Can't help you.
a couple more quick stories here. Microsoft has sent Joseph Staten, the main writer on the original Halos, voice of the Grunts. If you've ever seen a Halo 1 or 2 behind the scenes, you've seen him in those videos. Was doing some other job at Microsoft. Microsoft has sent him to write the Halo Infinite ship. This just happened this week. Week before that, or maybe 2 weeks before now, Halo got delayed. A couple weeks before that, they showed Halo. Halo might be totally fucked. Halo might be completely 100% top to bottom, totally fucked.
How do you bring in someone at this level if not
This
to
late?
like hit like the reset button on so many things.
Yeah. Especially when like you just showed it and everyone go, oh,
Nah.
and then delayed it, and then man.
The whole thing I picture with hearing about all this stuff with it is like it's an episode of Silicon Valley or something like that, where it's just fucking like they're like supposed to be launching something.
Everything's on fire.
And then just everything's on fire. And
Constantly.
There's just, and there's just fucking bullshit constantly. Yeah, like this is so weird. It's just weird. It's weird. They're so confident on that reveal, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh.
Were they though? They're publicly confident, but
This is one of those ones where you want the book or at least the full like in-depth report after the fact when they have nothing else to hide because they managed to get through it in whatever way they get through this. But where they are like when even like a month before you knew you had to have this thing ready for this show, did you guys know that you were just fucked? And you're like, we can piece together a trailer.
they must have.
We can give you 8 minutes on this little thing that we built over here.
The grunts
but
don't
this
look
big
great.
thing that we built
We
is
could show you
fucked.
one.
Yeah, we can show you his grappling hook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else though?
They must have. There's no way you go from showing that game and thinking it's coming out to a month later being like, we need Joseph Staten to come back and save us.
It feels like that patchwork like science project or social studies project that you put together last minute and you're like, I know this is bad, but I just got to get through 5 minutes.
Yeah,
I just need the D.
Yeah.
I just need the D.
Yeah, you. All right, Andy.
You picked up on it.
I thirst for. Never mind. Halo 3. Nope. Hitman 3 has a date, January the 20th. Next gen upgrade's gonna be free. Hell
Hey,
yeah.
nice of 'em.
Thank you, IOI. And who owns them now? Somebody just acquired them for Hitman 3. Used to be Square Enix.
Yep.
Damn it. And the last story I have for you: Sony has opened PS5 pre-orders. You don't know how much the console is going to cost, and you don't know when it's coming out, but you can sign up to pre-order on their website.
Right, and I think even that is a random draw.
That's true.
Right?
Yes,
Yeah.
you put in your PSN ID, and then there's a random draw, and if you get drawn, you have a certain amount of time, a 12-hour window, or whatever it is, to...
I wonder if I should do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to make you buy it. Like, it'd be weird if it was like, all right, punch in your Visa info and stuff, then once this comes out, we'll just charge it and send it your way. It's like
And there's also-
$1,000.
And there's also a part of me that just knows me well enough to be like,
No matter how much.
They're not going to price this out of what I'm going to pay for.
Yeah.
Like,
It could... Like... It could literally be 900 Canadian dollars. It could be 600 American. It could almost be $1,000 here in Canada, which
Right.
is
But you don't have to buy it, though. So
well. I bet you got to put down again. I don't know how it works if you get in, but I bet you have to put down a down payment. I bet it's not just like sign up and then.
I still doubt they're going to do anything outrageous. Where if it popped up, and even if it was a little more than what I was expecting, I don't think it's going to be something where I go, oh!
You don't think $900 would make you go, oh?
Yeah, it would, but I don't
And
think it's going to be that much.
I think 600 American. I think $5.99 American is very, very reasonable. Very reasonable. Maybe $4.99 American.
would you say reasonable or might
and
happen?
likely, yes, expected. That feels like a price they
is that
can get away with.
Six isn't 9 Canadian, is it?
It's very close. It's like 8.50
Are
something.
our dollars down to like 50% right now?
It's like 70 cents on the dollar, like it always has been.
Oh yeah,
I can find it right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I know, and this is me being a lucky man who has put a lot of money away for.
Oh, it's
this.
only $800.
Yeah, it's not
what am
bad.
I even saying?
Yeah, that's peanuts. See, I
$100
don't know.
bucks
wow.
isn't anything.
That's
There isn't
only
nothing.
literally a rent for a month.
Yeah, but also $100 isn't nothing. So good to know it's 8 and not 9.
Yeah,
I
true.
guess.
Yeah.
But still, $800.
But at the same time, for me, and I'm lucky to be in the shape I'm in, I just know PlayStation is not going to price it out of me because then they've priced it out of
Yeah.
too many
There's
people.
no, conceivably no price that you and I wouldn't pay.
Right.
But it's still
when they
very
have to capture as many people as they can't be like, well, let's just get the fucking absolute fucking lunatics.
Yes.
We
Well-
want this for 8.
Invites are distributed based on, quote, previous interest and PlayStation activities. So it sounds like they're looking at how much time you have in your PSN log and be like, no, we're going to only let the, like, super PlayStation, the people who put a lot of time
I probably
in.
don't get on there then.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
I barely use my PlayStation.
Yeah.
But
it's a neat
you'll
idea.
still be able to pre-order through retail. It's not like Sony
Yeah.
is the only people who sell
Yeah.
consoles.
It's how desperate are you to make sure that you have it
Yes.
Day one. Yeah.
And the part where they're like, we won't tell you when it's coming out or how much it costs, but you can pre-order if you want.
That's fine.
Fuck off.
I don't
At
hate-
least say this year.
Well,
At least be like, we
guess.
guarantee it'll be out this year.
Yeah, something like that would be good. But I think I'm already expecting that it is coming out this year. That's why I
mean,
look at it that
they've
way.
said
but
it comes out this year.
yeah,
But
they don't say
I would like, I'm expecting any day for, it's just nobody wants to go first,
Right.
but I think it's going to have to be Microsoft be like, actually, we're going to push our console back to like February, March, because obviously COVID has fucked everything.
Right.
And then whoever goes first, immediately the next time with Sony will be like, yep, us too.
And I don't disagree with you that that's going to happen. I think that's actually there's a very good chance that happens, but at least they're saying pre-order, it's going to be out this year right now.
Yeah.
Like it's not like they're like pre-order and we don't fucking know.
Yeah, I wonder.
Yeah.
I think them saying out that it'll be out this year is actually them saying we don't actually know, because it might get delayed.
And then they should have
Likely
just
it'll
been
get
like,
delayed.
we don't know.
Have they said for sure it's coming out 2020, or are they
have
just
said-
saying holiday?
Both consoles have said
There's like holiday.
holiday 2020.
Yeah.
In a court of law, you could argue that February 2021 is holiday 2020.
Has it ever happened
It has
though?
never been like that.
Yeah, like has any has any company ever said that and then something happened though where it's delayed? Like I think any time they've ever said holiday, this is when it's getting released, it's always come out.
And what are we arguing here?
We've
Like-
never had.
Yeah, also
quite-
too, none of us are going to use this thing.
We've
Yeah.
never quite had a situation like this where they're
Right.
like, "Here's our big launch game."
Holiday-
Right. Our launch game. The big launch game's delayed.
You could, as a lawyer, you could argue anything. Holiday 2020 is not January 2021.
If I
Like they would have to change their wording. If it was January and we got to January and they're like, it's going to be out January 15th, they would not be able to say they hit holiday 2020. But these are dumb things to argue about. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't think they have said hard and fast it'll be. If they've said
they
it will be
said
out,
hard and fast. The consoles, both the consoles have
Will
said
be
they
out
will
2020.
launch holiday 2020.
okay,
Yes.
then they have to.
Yeah.
But I kind of get what
Then
you're
there's a
saying.
class action lawsuit at that point
Right.
if they're not, I guess, especially if
Well,
they're taking
no,
pre-orders.
anything can be delayed.
But they didn't
Like-
say that in this though. Is kind of what you're saying though, right? It's like in this pre-order thing. When you go to pre-order, does it say you're going to get your
No, it
console?
doesn't. It doesn't say
So
anything.
that's where I
Doesn't say
get it.
anything.
Like they're covering their asses there. But at the
And it's
same,
like you can't class action lawsuit a video game for being we're going to be out in August of 2020
Well,
and then it gets pushed back, right?
If they take money for it and they guarantee that if you're taking
That's
pre-orders
different,
and
yes.
they say it'll be out holiday 2020 and then it's not, that would totally be legal action.
Right,
Like,
and-
again, I don't know if it's class action or what, but that would be
Yeah.
But I also
against
think
the law.
Yeah, they've also like it's happened where they've taken pre-orders for games and those games have got pushed and they've done refunds or not done refunds.
Yeah.
We've seen both in the video game
Yeah.
industry.
Usually from much smaller, like a company the
It
size
is
of
smaller.
Sony, I'm
Yep.
sure would have themselves buttoned up.
if I could actually qualify for doing this and I was going to put money down on it, so I got my PlayStation as quick as possible, and then they were like, hey, we're not getting these out till next year, but you still have your spot, I wouldn't give a fuck. I'm still getting my PlayStation when PlayStation comes
Yeah,
out.
if this is a
Yeah.
hold your spot in line thing and no commitment, then
but
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
I
I'm
don't
getting
know.
it no matter what.
Me giving Sony an interest-free loan, them tricking me into giving them an interest-free loan. Here's my money because you told me I'd get a service. Just kidding. We're gonna hold on to your money until the new. Like that's illegal. Fuck that.
I agree with you. I'm just saying that what they're doing now is okay.
Yes.
It's when you get to that pre-order point where it's time to pre-order, which they haven't even announced when you're going to pre-order.
No, it's so fun.
And they are probably holding the pre-orders until when they know when the console's going to be out so that they don't get themselves into trouble.
Yeah.
It's very dumb. It's very dumb. They should just not try to launch a console the year of this pandemic. Maybe. Podcast, talkingrouts.com is an email address, or you can...
Other side of the argument, Nintendo has their most successful game
Yes.
of all time launching it.
Video games have sold more this year than...
Yes.
This has been a record year for video games.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Maybe
Other
they're
side
like,
of
we
the
got to
coin.
get this thing out before people
Perfect
get out of the
time.
house again.
Podcast, talkingrouts.com, an email address to write some questions, or you can drop these on our Discord. That's where all these came from. I have some kind of quick-fire ones here. CJ writes in and says, what is the worst household chore? Andy, what is the worst household chore?
Ironing is stupid and I hate it.
Really, ironing.
Oh,
That's a
frick.
big one.
off.
Shoveling the driveway for me.
Oh,
God, do I hate
love
shoveling
shoveling.
snow.
Yeah,
What the fuck is wrong with you
Yeah.
guys?
Yeah, I don't hate shoveling the driveway.
I just love
either.
getting out there in the cold and like breaking my back and my feet are all wet when I get in.
Well, you got to get the shovel that has a curve for starters, and you also got to get some snow boots. And then
Bare
also
feet.
I have a toque that has Bluetooth headphones in it, so I pull my toque down over my head and I go and play some tunes and just fucking get her.
Fuck that. It's heavy lifting.
I
hate the snow.
did snow removal for a job for a very long time, which probably helps, but I fucking love shoveling.
What's
I love
your,
the sound.
What's your worst chore?
Maybe dishes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big dishes guy.
That's a hard one for me to identify with because I just put them in the dishwasher.
Yeah, I also got the dishwasher too. But even if I don't, if I just got a small some additions, I don't give a fuck.
So it's not really a chore, but like painting. If you have to like touch up a room, painting is the all-time absolute 1000%.
If we're gonna blow this out to like
let's do it.
You occasionally have
Plumbing.
to do.
Put the sink in.
Yeah, moving
fucking
sucks.
sucks.
Yeah, moving's pretty bad.
Yeah. So, but anyways.
Racism.
we
if we're gonna
could-
keep going,
here.
We could do a podcast. We gotta fire up a movie
call this
podcast.
Bad
We gotta fire up
Things.
a podcast about just bad things.
Things we don't like. When there's a spider in your room but you can't see it.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. This week on bad things, getting hit in the face with a hot dog while camping.
When you go to bed at a good temperature, but then wake up hot and just drenched in sweat.
Yeah. Also, though, when you go to bed at a good temperature and wake up and it's cold, that's also
I'd rather
fucking
wake up
bullshit.
cold. You wake up cold,
fuck
then you're just
that.
you're snuggling up. You're going right back to sleep.
Oh, I hate
You're
that.
like, I just need a more blanket and more wrap.
That initial throw the blanket off and it's cold. Fuck, I hate that. Oh, and you got to get in the shower and stuff.
Getting up in the morning.
Yeah, that sucks.
Getting out of the shower is brutal too. Then, 'cause you're
Yeah.
like, well, now out of the nice warm shower, back into the even colder.
When I had my place in Thunder Bay that didn't heat very well and just lost heat constantly, like those minus 30 days, it's a miracle I didn't die. Like, honestly, the fucking house was so cold.
Just walking around
It's
with
probably
like
like 15
plug-in
degrees
heaters
inside
on
the
either
thing.
side.
Well, and like I would turn on the taps in the bathroom. If it was cold, water wouldn't even run.
That's fucked up.
Oh,
That's
is
really
fun.
that's like
Yeah.
pipes
Yeah,
exploding.
it was bad. Like it
That's
was
messed up.
Yeah, it was terrible. I hated
Fucking
it.
Thunder Bay.
I know. Fucking hell. But anyways,
All right.
this has been the podcast about bad things.
That's this episode of Bad Things. Volkai writes in and says, still playing Hearthstone? Standard or Wild? Any favorite decks? I'm probably the only one who plays any Hearthstone here.
Yep.
I play a lot of Battlegrounds these days. That's their kind of auto battler, which I really like. Kevin also plays a lot of Battlegrounds, I know. I think Kevin plays some Standard. I'm not really. I'll ask him at some point for you, Volkai, when Kevin's on. We'll do this one first because Maxie says, what books have you guys read that you think could be beautifully transitioned into video games?
I don't have one that's beautifully, but the author that I really like, Clive Cussler, he does a lot of like ocean adventure books, and one of the main
my
guys.
My dad reads a lot of Clive
Yeah,
Cussler.
he's very much so like a dad author. I think I got into him from my uncle.
He's like Tom Clancy adjacent, kind of, right?
Kind of, except simpler. It's like it's an easier to digest Tom Clancy. But
It's very highfalutin, high writing Tom Clancy. Scholars are still dissecting the.
Well, it's not that Tom Clancy is necessarily high writing. It's just, his books are really big, whereas Clive Cussler's a little bit smaller. And it's more like Clive Cussler's more so, it's veering towards more so like a Lucifer style of kind of writing, where it's not bad like that, but it's easy to digest. But yeah, it's like, one of his main guys is like a marine biologist, but he goes on all these kind of vigilante things where if terrorists get involved when he's trying to look for an artifact or something, he like tears down the organization and stuff. But like very good video game stuff, right? Where you're just playing as one guy. Yeah, where you're like this solo kind of guy who's like going in and tearing down this organization. I think that would transfer cool. And the ship stuff would be cool too. I think there'd be a lot of cool like ocean exploring you could really transfer well. So
I read a lot of horror, which I don't think translates particularly well to video games.
A lot of Stephen King.
Yeah,
There's a good Dark Tower game out there somewhere.
Dark Tower I did think about, but I was even like, well, I don't know. I don't like the things that make Dark Tower good. I don't think translate well into a video game. I mean, you can maybe make a nice Wasteland time travel game,
multiverse hopping.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I don't think I have a good answer based on what I read. I mean, I read a lot of Harry Potter, and they're making a video game about that. Animorphs should be.
I always want an Animorphs video game.
Yeah.
We never got. We were talking about these books last week, I think, on the show, and we never got it. What the fuck? It makes so much sense. You use a different power. You turn to the bear or the tiger or the. I'm trying to remember all their iconic. A gorilla. Marco turned into a gorilla. Bear, tiger, gorilla.
I can't remember them by name. There was a gorilla.
Oh, I can't. Marco, Cassie, Jake, Rachel. The rat was the like fucked up one who they left trapped as a rat. Yeah, maybe Cassie was a snake or something. I don't remember. All right, it's been a long time.
I hated those books because I hated that all the covers were basically the same.
Yeah,
pissed me
they
off.
were all different though.
They were all different animals.
Different animals, but they still did the same like silhouette fucking bend into whatever the animal was.
That's how they morphed, man.
Yeah, but like I was very much so. Those are the perfect example for me of a book I judged by its cover. Animorphs. I
Literally
fucking looked at it and I was like, fuck off. I don't even know what book's different. It's the same story, different animal.
You could maybe do some sort of good Shining video game with kind of the same concepts of like an Outlast or that kind of house sequence in Resident Evil 3, where it's very much like constantly the big bad wandering around and
busting through doors.
and you're trying to like just get out, get into the rooms to get the keys to get into the other rooms.
Like an Alien Isolation style.
Yeah.
That might be really dope.
That might be good.
Boy, I don't know. I really enjoyed a series called the Discworld series growing up, and there have been a few like adventure games in the Discworld, but I always really wanted a good it's a rich fiction that, again, I don't know if it would translate. It's very funny on the page. I don't think it would be that funny to hear those lines and things spoken
Might
aloud.
I present to you a video game about a Song of Ice and Fire
Oh, okay, all right.
that we have not heard anything about.
He said if it wasn't out by June 20th, 2020 or something, that we could arrest them.
Well,
And
Well,
that day
Ben
passed.
has.
Here we are. They're probably locked up right now as we speak.
So there's this Polish book. It's about a guy who fights monsters.
Uh-huh.
He's not a witch, but he's witchish.
Witchish.
I think it's called the Witchish.
Yeah.
I think that'd be
Like
really
more a
good.
witch than another witch. He's witcher.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The
You guys
More
saw-
Witch, I think it was called.
Are you guys talking about a game that would be like The Witcher?
Very similar,
No, okay.
but no, not at all.
Oh, that's where you're going with that.
Herman writes in, says, Brando, can you tell the story?
Yeah. Not to call anyone into doubt, but I would be shocked if I had not told this story on this podcast before.
I think you have, yeah.
Yeah.
I did not recognize it in the Discord, but that means nothing.
As soon as I read this line, I was like, yeah, he's still done it. Mind you, I've
Well,
probably heard it a few
regardless-
times.
regardless.
Yeah,
Anyways.
that was going to be the other thing. I was like, maybe I've just told Andy this story.
Yeah.
There was a work function when I worked at the liquor store.
Okay, very good.
Crossroads Liquor Store in Sherwood Park. You should hit them up.
Professional function.
That's right.
It's a Christmas party or like what are we talking
Christmas
about?
party.
Okay, great.
It was specifically a Christmas party at a like dive bar, like big, like kind of very. I can't remember where it was, but it was a very small dive bar. We were the only people in there. Fantastic party. First of all, I got incredibly drunk.
Always a good sign.
Yeah. And at one point, a girl who I wouldn't even go so far as to say I had a crush on. I think it was less than that.
She just happened to be a girl.
She just happened to be a girl, which was kind of what I was looking for at the time.
It was just long hair.
It was long hair.
I'm assuming fairly attractive as well, probably. Maybe.
I was drunk. I don't know if that mattered. She is. I can tell you in hindsight she is.
She existed at the
I do
time.
not think it mattered at the
Okay.
time.
Yeah. It's just a target.
Where I and this it started like as a joke with a buddy that also worked there and then was there. Where I was like, I'm gonna marry that girl one day. You just tell me I'm gonna marry that girl, and he's like, you should do it. You should do it. And I'm like, okay, well,
Hitches up his fucking
yeah.
pants.
So then, cracks knuckles.
I
and-
just pictured Brandon just looking at
Slamming his palm. It was the vintage
serious
Brown.
stare.
Slams his palms on the table,
Yeah.
stands up,
Yeah.
hitches up his trousers, and just fucking marches
yeah,
over there.
we're gonna do it.
All right.
But obviously, I don't have a ring or anything.
Yeah, it's a little
which
awkward.
is embarrassing.
Yeah.
So I went at some point during the night, not immediately after, but at some point during the night, a lot of people went out for a smoke break. I went out to kind of hang out with them, and there was a guy who I don't want to say he was homeless, but he was down on his luck. We'll call him. And he was selling flowers.
It was Aerith from Final Fantasy VII,
Exactly, yeah.
basically.
Selling flowers
Just
at
screaming in the street.
probably an unbelievable markup for wherever he purchased them, because he probably got like a bouquet from Save On
2 materia orbs.
and then and then took all the individual ones out and were selling them for like $10 a pop or something.
Oh, that's a
I
good.
have no idea what
I was kind of wondering. I was going to say, where the fuck did the flowers come from? But that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Me being as drunk as I am, I was like, it's perfect. It's better than a ring. It shows I care. So I bought a flower from the man. It was like a white rose looking thing. Probably wasn't a white rose, but
probably
in my
a
head,
daisy.
it was probably a daisy. It was probably like a dandelion. And went in there, went down on one knee, proposed to her with the flower, and she said yes.
Oh, congratulations.
Happy ending for the night. We hugged.
Happily
We-
married
yeah.
for 4 years.
made some fiance jokes. I puked in the toilet later. And then the next day, we were no, it wasn't the next day, but the next time we worked together, we're both like, so we're engaged, huh? And she was like, yep, yeah, seems so. And then it was like so awkward that I don't think we ever brought it up again.
Great.
And I never got married. And she eventually, I left the liquor store, I think before her. And I've literally not said a word to her ever since.
I should look her up. She's probably still just holding off. She's like,
Yeah.
oh, I
She's
met my
waiting.
one true love. I just got to wait
she's
for her.
turned down like legitimate offers because she's like,
I just
well,
gotta-
I'm technically engaged. Also that night, on each side of the stage, they had those like cages that people dance in. Like,
Yeah.
the ladies in bikinis, they do the dancing while the music act is on stage. And I at one point got in there, and I don't even think dance that much, but outright refused to leave, and had people like bringing me drinks and stuff.
Literally locked myself in and
Yeah.
threw the keys into the crowd.
Yeah, I was just like, this is where I'm going to spend the rest of the night.
I think that I did that once at one of the gay bars in Edmonton where they had one of those cages, and I just fucking popped in there and was like, "This is where I am now."
That's more dangerous because people might think you're up for grabs.
I don't know what happened, but that's a tremendous story, Brando.
Thank you.
That is a tremendous story.
Yeah, it's a shame. I bet that somewhere deep within your Facebook notifications, there's one from that girl that is to change your guys' relationship status to engage, and she's waiting on you to fucking click that someday. Probably why it was so awkward for you the next day, because she's like, why the fuck didn't he fucking click it?
Why didn't he do it?
Yeah.
She probably heard this podcast or is listening to this podcast now and is now like sprinting to catch a leaving train to...
Yes. She's like, what? She's like watching it on her phone on Twitch.
I'm coming!
Fucking running to the train station right now.
I didn't know you cared.
Yeah, it's just pulling away and she has to dive in.
Yeah, or no, she'll get up to the train to hop on. They'll be like, nope, sorry, can't come on. You don't have a mask. Oh, that'll be
shit.
Yeah, a less romantic, upsetting ending to that story.
COVID gets another relationship.
Podcast at talkingreckless.com. An email address you want to write in some questions, or you can drop them on our Discord, which you can find by going over to talkingreckless.com. The Patreon revamp is done. Go check all that out. Anime podcast, the Endurance Run. There's goals up there for the return of Two Drunk Guys Play, for the Unnamed Video Game Challenge. Go check all that stuff out. And we're really nose to the grindstone, going to be hitting them pretty hard over the next little while. And again, they are on sale. Annual subs on sale until October. So take advantage. I think that's all I got to tell you, other than Rolling Reckless, we're a little hit or miss. Some folks are camping. There's some long weekends. We are kind of coming to the end of summer, so everyone's getting their last minute camping in. So we're a little hit or miss. I don't really know when we're going to be on
Remember the
next.
last time you brought them up camping and we all just fucking went off on like a half-hour tangent about camping?
Today?
Yeah, that was all it took. That was all the
I don't
wiener
remember.
story and everything.
Oh yeah, at the
All was all-
beginning. No, I don't actually remember
It
that.
was all born of you saying that people are camping and we can't do Rolling Reckless.
That's right. But winter's coming, and nobody camps in winter, so we'll be back on hopefully regular soon. Andy, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Matthew Eads. Pleasure to be here as always.
Brandon Lynch, thank you for coming on your week off.
You betcha.
Another excellent podcast.
It ended up being exactly what I told you it would be, where it's like I might not come because it's my week off unless I can convince Andy to go before we go to the bar.
Perfect. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
It wasn't hard. He texted
Well,
me and he was like, hey, you want to do the podcast before we go to the bar? And I was like, yep.
Easy peasy.
Here we are.
And to you at home, thanks so much for listening. Go check out the Patreon. Thank you much for that as well, for all your support. And we'll see you here on the next episode of the Talking Reckless podcast. We'll see you then.